More money, more problems, part two. Yeah. This this took a little bit longer to for us to get back to this again just because of complications during the weekend, but it's all right. We're good to go.
Yeah, really shitty weather around here. The internet was off for about 3 or 4 days straight, so
Yeah.
could have been better.
Yeah, but we're back. It's time to keep slumming it up in Santa Destroy and murdering it up, I guess. Yeah.
One leads to the other usually.
Yeah, yeah, things are still fine as normal. Checking out our cards, which like we still managed to get every single one that showed up in the assassin missions up to this point. Which, like, on the first playthrough, it's always like 5 cards per level, which is
Hmm.
nice. Yeah,
Just noticed the one in the bottom right there looks like Mexican Deadpool.
I'm looking again. Yep, you're right.
Deadpool with a twist of lime.
Mask of the legendary wrestler Venganza. Okay.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that's good. Good in quotes. Yeah. I
They call me Venganza.
Yeah. Appreciate all the masks, the figurines, the poster in the background, which just the silhouettes of what I'm assuming are giant robots just makes me think of Get a Robo. Okay, but enough of this. We could spend all day like in this dingy little motel, but we got stuff to do. So in
Places
between,
to go, bodies to move.
yeah. So in between when we last streamed, I did do what I said I was most likely going to do, which is I went and retrieved every single lava cough ball because after beating Shinobu, like this is the part where the bar Gold Town opens up, which is where we turn these in.
Hmm.
It's also where Beefhead Video finally opens up, so we get to check out some wrestling VHS tapes.
Oh yeah, this is another way of learning wrestling moves, isn't it?
Yep, that's correct. So yeah, and at least like from looking it up, I did kind of like relay something after the fact that in collecting all of these balls like beforehand, I realized I had kind of like replicated the exact same mistake the last time I did, which is not only did I feel the need to like go and collect these as soon as possible, like well before the bar even opens, but also, at least like from what I recall, like seeing online from like old walkthroughs and stuff, is that apparently like when you like first like meet lava cava and like turn in some balls, it like proceeds to litter your mini map with icons indicating where they are.
I thought you needed to unlock that with one of the Lovikov balls.
That might be it. Yeah,
You
I
get
think.
one of them's a radar that shows you all of them on the map.
Yeah, which is why like I feel like if I had been smarter about this and didn't feel the need to like do some of like the tedious shit off stream, I would probably have like I probably would have done it the more intended way and just get the first 7 or 14 rather,
Yeah.
just because you want like the memory of child for that super fast sprint.
Hmm.
But that's okay because we're just gonna get all of them right down, which means we're gonna get 7 beatings all at once.
Bum ba da bum ba bum pow pow pow. Bum ba da bum ba dum pow pow pow.
Yeah. Also, with this stream, hopefully the audio levels are better balanced once we get to one of the assassin missions, because after checking the last VOD, I realized that even after we had adjusted the in-game volumes automatically, the it still was drowning out some of our conversations when everyone was complaining about like their spleen and
Oh
such.
man, but that was solid gold.
Eh. So yeah, memory of 3, demon, child, woman, mask, tattoo, and white. So yeah, Emir, Dan, Khan, Kaide, mask, and I believe last two are Coyote and Kevin.
Hmm.
It's funny, we used to think of this back today as like just funny Easter eggs and not actually an indication that these were like part of the No More Heroes universe, but like after Travis Strikes Again, we've obviously had to rethink that.
It's all connected, man.
Yeah, it may tickle, just a smidge.
Come my spleen!
That line in this case would at least be more appropriate.
Yeah.
The technique of beauty. Yes, I still have balls. I've got 42 left. Yeah. Jump and slash, I remember being a very good one. It's very good for kind of just, like, getting the first in when you're, like, approaching a crowd and all that.
Mm.
Technique of love.
I don't think I like your kind of love, Mr. Lovikov.
Yeah. It amuses me how, like, these things are referred to as memories. They describe what the technique or whatever is, but the technique name is totally different from what the memory of name would imply. It's just Suda getting in whatever, like, cool, weird English phrase or title he can get at the time.
Oh yeah, you know all these were in, like, English capital letters.
Yeah. Technique of bizarre.
Lets you watch several seasons of a really terrible girly robot anime at once.
Multiple of them simultaneously. Yep. Now to get the one that increases our dark side limit.
I forget what this does.
Technique of God. Are they all here in Sand to Destroy? Yes, they are. I spent a grand total of 1 hour just walking around the damn place.
You know, plot.
Yeah, dark side mode time limit, so it's not dark step, which would be infinitely more useful if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And even if they just increased it by an extra, like, half a second, that's a good 2 or 3 hits.
Mm-hmm. But now to get the one that increases the range in which we can initiate grabs, which is also very helpful, because sometimes, like, when you, like, do the beat attacks to stun them, it still kind of pushes them away. So
well, I mean, the number of times you whiffed in the last stage there. That was getting, like, painful to watch.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
Yeah, well, you're banned.
Yeah. Banned, and then you can send in a ban appeal that I can read on stream and then decide whether to undo the ban or just double down on it further.
But I can still talk in the stream. It's the weirdest thing.
That's really my ultimate goal. Once I ever get, like, that VTuber avatar I keep saying I want to get down the line, I hope to become the avoiding the puddle of the VTuber community. Just call everyone a bunch of stoners, like, riff on them for, like, just a comedic bit, and then, like, do the aforementioned read their ban appeals on stream, just to, like, further roast them for their bullshit.
So here we have one from Goku Balls 269. Please no. Please, I have been good, please.
If you have not, like, if you've not seen Avoiding the Puddle, or at the very least have, like, not seen, like, his ban appeal videos, that's something that you should absolutely watch, just because it is absolutely hilarious, like, for the reasons I described, of just exposing just how absolutely dumb some people are for, like, what they get banned for, and, like, what their post history was beforehand. And even more hilarious, like, if they somehow manage to, like make Eris, like, laugh a good one, he might just unban them for that. Alright, now for the last one. Memory of White. Little jumping down attack. This'll be good. And then we can finally move on to our other errands here, such as checking out the video store.
Gotta learn how to wrestle.
Yeah, this is the best name. Technique of Crazy Awesomeness. Like, okay, sure.
Technique of fuck, I don't know, just make something up.
Yeah. The final ball. I've played my part. Jeez, this is what I'm gonna be?
Well, this is disappointing.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. You've literally just subjected me to, like, God knows how many degrees of blunt force trauma.
Yeah, but you don't look like you should be wanted for parole violations for being in possession of a fish.
Yeah. Although my mind is thinking of other worse things, which makes like a fish the least of your concern.
Yeah, not the way he was using it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Be the best.
Like no one ever was.
Sure, we'll go with that. All
Does
right.
it still let you mess with the little star on the loading screens?
That's actually what I was trying to do, but one thing I noticed like with the loading screens is that like there's a bit of hitching on like when the star's rotating, and even
Yeah,
and
I
when I was
noticed that.
pressing it during that time, it wasn't really going. It only really started to go upwards once it had gone past the hitching, but by that point, it had really only been like it was already done loading stuff.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
a shame.
Now, let's head over to the beef head, but it would still take us good several minutes just getting over there.
Oh man.
But no, I didn't want to call the. I'm trying to figure out what the buttons are. God damn
We're
it.
literally just going to see you, Bishop. Jesus Christ. Get your shit together, man.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not. There we are. Hold A. Fuck you, motorcycle. You handled like shit.
Yeah, okay, so it looks like an X-Wing. That doesn't matter.
Ah, yes. Video, DVD, game, and more.
Don't ask what the and more is. It will burn your fucking face off.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't have come at a better time. You get even better view at that not Revenge of the Sith poster.
Yeah.
I
was gonna
still
say,
can't believe how much they were able to get away with that. And that's even after, like, Ubisoft's QA team wrote to them, dude, this is way too on point. Lucasfilm's gonna sue us.
yeah, I was wondering if they had, at the very least, updated it for the sequels.
No, they did not. Ah, yes, the kingdom of bootlegs.
Ah, I see you've been looking at my hard drive.
$9,800 for a VHS tape. I mean, I get the collector's market is fucked to some degrees, especially during this pandemic. But Jesus Christ.
I mean, even if that was in yen, that's still like nearly $100.
Yeah, I really can't think of like any reason why anyone should want to buy a VHS tape for anything approaching $100.
I mean, back in the VHS days, they were ridiculously easy to copy, so it's not like that's a thing.
Yeah. Now, if this were like a laser disc and Travis happened to be one of those weirdo otaku that was like really into like the failed video formats, then I could understand the price. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Travis strikes me as the kind of guy who only watches Tenchi Muyo on Laserdisc.
Yeah. Kinda wish that was me.
And that's all he has. Just that and a copy of Akira and a rare print of Goodfellas.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, and you know what? I think because of the fact that this game isn't in higher resolution, I can actually make out what the text is on the Revenge of the Sith poster. Super Wild, the third story. Attack General.
That's some quality English.
It is.
Now don't get yourself killed.
So we'll watch the video momentarily, just because like that requires us to go back to the motel. But I figure once we do all the other errands and get the money to like pay our next entry fee, that'll be when we do it. So next on the list, our good old buddy Thunder Ryu.
Ah, you want to do that? That?
Yes, that.
Ah, take off your pants. No, leave the shirt on. I like it that way.
Underpants too. Off. Off.
Leave the shoes on, though. Makes you seem even more naked.
Yep. Of course, the only downside to using the Memory of Child, it runs on the same battery meter, so like you can't sprint forever, which is a shame.
Really good when you get the final upgrade for the beam katana, but by that point you don't need it because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. Right, right. I'll teach you that technique. Your ass better be clean.
I mean, he does spend a lot of time in the can.
Yeah, you would at least hope for the amount of things he's like a piece of shit about. You would at least hope personal hygiene's not one of those bad things.
I don't know. I've been to some gaming stores in my time.
Yeah, okay. Now to button mash this shit again.
10 Tons of Titanium, still one of the best tracks on the soundtrack.
It absolutely is. I think after this, the next time I have to do one of these benching mini games, I'm gonna have to like get a pen or something and just like rapidly tap or rub that across the A button because my fingers are not what they used to be.
It's a shame that you can't just like waggle each half of the Joy-Con up and down to do this instead of tapping.
Yeah, I guess, but I guess they realized they already did that for like they already had that for like the dumbbell lifting.
Yeah.
Where you have to alternate. But then again, they also have the squats, which like is like that's rhythmically doing both. Actually, I think maybe it's because of the squats that like it would be way too close if they tried to apply that to the benching.
Ah, that's true.
But yeah, now for squats. Speaking of which,
Hoi, 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 hoi.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey
And
guys,
feel your thighs burn. His knees are going to be sounding like a pair of clicky pens by the end of this. It's the fact that my experience with squats is anything to go by.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Thunder Ryu.
Training is not over.
Now then. Okay, job center time. That fun part everyone likes.
Murdering time.
Ah, yeah. My same feelings still apply to Santa Destroy.
Yep, still nice to look at, still dull as shit.
It's still dull in a way that, like, when you get inundated to it, you start to feel like it is home. But I think it's easy to feel that way, like, if you're in, like, a place in real life that very much feels like just a dead-end hole in the ground.
Yeah. Well, on the plus side, I'm moving in a couple of weeks, so yay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, depending on how things go with, like, me and, like, my vet and, like, some of my family members, because I've been having to, like, share space with them since moving. Like, hopefully we'll be, like, moving again somewhere else in town that'll be a bit bigger.
Mm.
Still won't be satisfied until I get my until I get my own private retro shack, but whatever.
Well, I'm going to be moving to a two-bedroom, and one bedroom will be getting converted into a librarium.
Nice.
Shelves as far as the eye can see, which isn't that far, to be perfectly honest. But, you know, it's a start.
Yeah, you know, just yeah, it's the aesthetic you want.
You just walk in and you're like, wow, it smells like you haven't touched any of these books whatsoever. I have a problem, okay? Could be worse. It could be heroin. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. Okay. All right. Time to pick up some garbage. Just just have Travis hoist himself and throw him into the waste bin. All right.
But Dr. Pagliacci says, I am the trash. I completely fucked up the end of that joke, and I don't really care.
It's yeah, it was a bit difficult trying to like convert the "No, John, you are the demons" bit to like something other than that. Oh man. Yeah.
And then you do this again later, but with scorpions.
Oh yeah. Fuck those things.
I mean, it's basically the exact same game.
Well, yeah, except that you now have a chance of dying,
Yeah.
which is not fun. Not fun at all.
I mean, could do without that, but at least you're not getting your ass set on fire like with the garage job where you're filling the cars.
Oh yeah, that's right. The yeah, with filling the gas.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny when that does happen. Okay.
And fill up here. Oh God, I'm on fire.
Oh man. That just
So
makes me
that
think
little,
of old Newgrounds stuff and just like for a reason like that old like probably shitty these days, but like the decline of video games Flash animation series where like one of the recurring jokes in a later one I think was just them like setting like the creator of Newgrounds Tom Fulp on fire and him just going oh and just doing exactly what you just did going oh my god I'm on fire. Oh Newgrounds.
So those little yellow dots in the map, is that money that you can dig up?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because like right now, like actually, like my Joy-Con's rumbling.
Hey,
Yeah,
barely
1,000.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. I was just say ultimately amounts to jack shit in the context of what we need to pay. But whatever.
Aren't some of them worth like 10 grand, or am I making that up?
I don't know. To be honest, of all the things I did as far as like collection stuff in this game, I never really went for like all of the hiding spots. Like only
Yeah,
things I ever really went for are the lava cov balls and like the dumpsters because of the
yeah.
t-shirts. Freedom and anarchy is the rules of this place.
Really, there should have been a tie-in with this and Pantheon stalking at some point.
Oh man, that probably would have like been more appropriate for like Desperate Struggle since I'm pretty sure those were a lot closer to when they came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Panty and stalking definitely seems like the kind of show Travis would be into. Travis in
Oh,
general
absolutely.
seems like the kind of person that would be all over being like a Gynax fanboy throughout the 2000s.
Yeah, just comes up to you at an anime convention and is like, so have you heard of this show called Ebichu? Yes, Travis. Yes, I have. Please go away now.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That's not fair. It was funny.
Yeah, I guess. He'd also be the kind of person that, like, goes into a fit anytime he hears anyone not pronounce Fooly Cooley the right way. To be fair,
FLCL.
to be fair, I'm kind of like that, but like not to the degree that I would ask myself as being a like unbearable fucking asshole. I just kind of
Yeah.
groan and move on.
I mean, I used to call it FLCL as well, but that's only because I'd never heard anyone actually talk about it in person. It was always online.
Well, I only knew to call it Fooly Cooley because they literally say it in the show, and I basically kind of watched it in high school. Like, it was one of those back in the day where like I felt I would had an easier time being able to like find the anime that like people recognize, but be able to watch them without feeling I was being prompted by the people that like are all over it. Like same thing with
Yeah.
Evangelion, and it's kind of why like I did not have as much of the negative reaction to that series as I do now. Because I basically came across it before I came across the fans and realized what they were all about.
Kind of the same. I had a friend when it was being released in the UK who was getting it on VHS, and she copied it for me and sent me copies of the tapes. So, excuse me. So, you know, plus also at the time I wasn't part of any kind of fan bases or fandoms. It was just me.
Yeah.
So I never really had to suffer all that crap.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I've got a very low tolerance for fandoms to this day.
Yeah.
Like, I'll happily talk to fans until the cows come home, but fandoms are full of horrible people.
Yeah.
Um,
Consistently
and-
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is kind of why, like, even if I call out specific ones, I kind of make it a point of not going with a whole, oh, this fandom's the absolute worst. No, every fandom's the absolute worst. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to like prop up yours better. Hell, I'm part of the DMC fandom technically, and there's a bunch of fucking weird bastards in that. Like,
yeah.
don't even have to remind you about the whole reboot debacle.
Oh, Jesus. And I was talking to a friend about Clone Highs making a comeback soon. And she was like, yeah, just hopefully it's not going to be completely ruined by an overly loud, terrible fandom.
Yeah.
I was like, what, like you mean like every animated show in the last 15 years? She was like, I didn't at the time, but now, yeah, I think I kind of do mean that.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, still, fuck Ava fanbase.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like, it's the sort of thing where, like, when I finished watching it, like, I basically was of the opinion where, like, it was the most neutral but still positive that I could say about it, which was, yeah, this was an experience. I don't think it's amazing, but it's fine. But, like, it never got to a point where, like, I saw more people that were like, oh yeah, it's the most amazing thing ever. But then it was finding a fortunate friend who introduced me to, like, more different types of anime that I feel are, like, a lot more, like, they shift a lot more of, like, what my modern tastes are now. We definitely, like, both kind of had a bonding of going, yeah, you know what, fuck Ava.
I'd say it's definitely a show that people need to watch, if only so they know what everyone else is talking about.
Yeah. And even then, it kind of also pays to, like, know a lot more about, like how it was actually formed, like, what sort of, like... Because this is actually, like, I feel like the real problem with what I have every time, like, it kind of comes to fans of Evangelion, and it's really more to do with, like, any of, like, it, like, the side of the fandom that encompasses everyone that is in Japanese. Like, it's because of just how the mecha genre in Japan is so robust with so many different, like, ideas and, like, interpretations of, like, how the mecha themselves can be and, like, the sort of, like, stories and themes they can tell. But you look outside and you would almost think that it was way smaller than it actually is, because everyone just cherry picks it to be like that, or just whatever is, like, the current Gundam series or whatever. And it leads to the sort of thing where, like, people don't even fucking realize how much Evangelion pulls specifically from, like, super robot shows and stuff like Ultraman and Tokusatsu of that era. To the point where it's like a lot of the praise comes from it misattributing its ideas to as if they were all conceived entirely in a vacuum and are therefore the most original thing. Even though, no, it's a fucking deconstruction of the type of things that Hideaki Anno was into in his youth, combined with his experiences with clinical depression.
Yeah. It's like, yes, everything is entirely, you can take basically any point or any object in the show and be like, yes, this is a metaphor, but it's also, this is an adult reinterpretation of Gigantor.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tetsujin 28.
Yeah, it's, and, like, for fuck's sake, like, you start to look at, like, how lean and nimble the Avas are, and then you just watch any fight scene in Ultraman, and the whole concept of the Avas versus the Angels is, like, way more uncanny.
Yeah.
And that
Like,
makes it even more annoying, especially when it gets to, like, the latter half, where it becomes significantly less about that because they just kept running out of money.
Yeah.
And people kind of excusing it. It was like, oh, well, the show's not really about the mecha. Fuck off. Like, you could have said, like, a war movie that it has, like, a really important humanitarian message isn't about the war. Like, I mean, fuck you. It's a delivery mechanism.
Yeah.
That's how all these genres work.
With stuff like Gundam, you can say that it's more about the human characters than it is about the robots, because a lot of especially the older ones, are very much more political conspiracies and so forth. But, still doesn't negate the fact that there are people blowing shit up with rocket launchers in robots.
Yeah, it's like...
Like, you can say that it's a different part of the series, but you can't divest it completely.
Yeah, like it's the core idea of like of when like creating a series like that. You basically that type of story you want to tell could theoretically like work in any other genre. The whole point is that like you are using the things that the genre should be known for on like the base surface level and use it to like push those themes forward. You know, like there's a difference between having a horror, like a horror story that's like is conveying like some sort of like deeper like meaning or like sense of themes that is like tied to the horror it's conveying, or you could just have it be the sort of thing where like all it is just giving you the thrills of being scared and nothing else.
I mean, with again going back to Gundam, you could easily say, okay, well, how about we put all the characters out, or take all the characters out of robots and put them into tanks?
Yeah.
Would it still work? And for the most part, yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Could take prototype mechs out of the equation and have them in prototype battle tanks, or soldiers with cutting-edge military gear in general.
Yeah.
Like, you can still tell most of the same stories, just with a few tweaks.
Yeah, you could still like feasibly like tell the story of Macross and anything that isn't giant robots, because it like the main kind of theme it wants to like convey is culture shock.
Mm.
And then you have stuff like Get a Robo, where like it's less about giant robots defending the Earth and more about how the giant robot is actually a cosmic horror that is continuing to grow to the point it consumes the entire universe.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more difficult to divorce from the subject.
Yeah. and it goes back to kind of what I say, like the point of it is that it's the delivery mechanism, you know?
So
you can make a cosmic horror story, but like in some ways it'd be harder to like get away with like having Get a Robo like be the sort of like deeper underlying story that it is without the Get a Robo. But,
yeah,
but I still feel like it conveys still most of the same point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. But like trying to fit it into something like a military drama, it'd be like, so this one's about a really scary handgun? It's about the most terrifying helmet you've ever seen. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Just really all you can go with is, sure, let's do that.
It's an energy source that, depending on your perspective, could either be an analog to cancer or life itself.
Or nuclear weapons.
I guess, maybe. I don't know. I never really got much of like a nuclear weapon analog in Get a Robo.
Mainly just sheer destructive force and mutative qualities. You can easily argue that.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
How it's also potentially an unlimited power source that could wind up destroying the universe.
Yeah, I suppose. I feel like it's always been a lot harder to like tell like what sort of things are like a nuclear analog, especially if they're technically on the side of good, just because of how Japan's views on nuclear weapons already are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Though I think like the only thing that ever has like come to mind for me in that regard of like something that's like nuclear powered or whatever is actually, funny enough, like Giant Robo the animation.
Oh, with the Shizuma drive.
Yeah, because like everything uses the Shizuma drive except for Giant Robo itself, which explains, why it's still able to function when the whole planet undergoes a power outage. But it freaks everyone out because they're like, oh shit, nuclear power, we can't handle this.
I need to go back and watch that because I got the first couple of episodes way, way, way back in the day. But
it's
of course,
still amazing.
Yeah. Of course, like mid to late 90s, it was virtually impossible to get this stuff unless you went mail order. So I've got it legally acquired. So,
legally acquired from my favorite video store, Baka BT.
Legally acquired with money that I earned through a completely legitimate source.
Yeah.
Don't look at my hard drives. I don't have 40 terabytes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, could you see that for me, please? But yeah, John Robo the animation's great. I still maintain that is the single best of like Japanese animated series of the '90s by far. It's so wonderfully done, and still counts as a giant robot series, even if like there are parts where it feels like there's so many other elements working in tandem that you would think on the surface that it would make the part of Giant Robo itself seem like a footnote.
I mean, several of the characters are literally out of story about the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
like all the characters are literally taken from like the creator of Giant Robo's other works, except for Giant Robo itself.
Yeah.
Like I'm still baffled as to how, like why that was ever like a stipulation for it, because like they're all by the same creator. You would think that they could get more than like Daisaku and his father as characters, but no, they instead got like the one the dude like in the trench coat that's just taken straight from like Tetsujin 28, and then like
Yeah.
the aforementioned Romance of the Three Kingdom characters, and it's Sally the
Yes.
Witch of all things, who is on the bad guy's side.
It's like, okay, but can't we use any of the other guys? Never mind that shit. Here comes Lubu. And he's got a robot. What the fuck, man? Only a slight exaggeration, I should point out.
Yeah.
Barely an exaggeration.
Yeah. These guys are so weak.
Yeah, which is good because it means you can rack up a good number of kills in barely any time. So I think I said it was 40,000 per kill or something like that, or 4,000?
4,000, yeah.
4,000,
40,000 would have been overkill.
40,000 would be like, well, I don't need money for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But this is a good one for a good chunk of the game to repeat.
Yeah. 2 points, obviously, until the aforementioned Mission 18, but, like, that's basically going to be a common theme. So, yeah.
No one? No one? Healer? Ah, there you go.
Yeah. There we go. Weird thing, for whatever reason, is that I was able to get off some of those jumping slashes early on, but for whatever reason, when I was trying to shake the left Joy-Con to do it, it wasn't, like, triggering it. Thought it was, like, a battery thing, hence why I did, like, that recharge, but I don't know. I'll have to double check. I don't know, like, if it is, like, an inconsistency on, like, on the motion detecting part in this, or if it's just a case of, like, I'm still weirdly not used to the fact that this is on a pair of, like, 2 Joy-Cons and not a Wii Remote Nunchuck. A control setup that technically has less buttons.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the controls for some of the jumping slashes and that being kind of dodgy in the Wii version, but that's because the Wii controller was kind of garbage.
Yeah. It worked well enough when you knew how to make it work.
Yeah, it was just learning how to make it work that was the problem.
Yeah. But I mean, like, the thing that ultimately, like, made, like, some of those games work the way they did is, like, not only was it, like, the developers knowing the limitations, but also kind of fooling you into thinking that it was, like, more, like, in-depth than it actually was, so that the actual input itself is so simple, but they could give you on-screen instructions to try and get you more into, like, the action itself, so that, like, even if it's not exactly as, like, straightforward of, like, you know, just a single horizontal or vertical swing, you could still have some amount of, like, deviation and it would still work. Like, that's what makes, like, Mad World's motion control usage so great.
Yeah.
Because they do, like, a very good job of, like, having, like, basic motions that it looks for, but making the on-screen instructions along with the animations work a lot, make it seem, like, more in-depth than it actually is, and gets you into basically fooling you into believing that's how it's supposed to be done, and it still ends up working anyway. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was one of the rare games that got the controls right. You
Yeah,
know,
like
uh,
that game, No More Heroes, I'd say still did it well on the whole, and Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
mm,
Like, and speaking of which, and with No More Heroes, that and like No More Heroes and Shattered Memories, both are like they are both contenders for best use of the Wii Remote speaker because it was always like that thing was so tinny and garbage that it was perfect for emulating the speaker of a phone.
yeah, I played it on the PSP at the time, and I do feel that it kind of lost a few things with that.
Yeah. Plus, most of Shattered Memories was you aiming the Wii Remote like a flashlight, so it was already like another instance of like using the better part of that controller's functionality.
Mm.
Travis, can you hear me? It's crazy over here. No time to explain. I'll send details over snail mail. Gotta run!
What the hell's going on over there? Jeez, don't leave me hanging, honey.
She's
Oh,
just
I'm sure.
yeah. Then it's fine. She was just like on a movie set. She was filming. Yes, the cell phone call was also part of the script. You didn't realize. All right, now we're back at a hotel. Let's watch this.
Travis renting some wholesome videos for a change.
And he's still not gonna turn it back on time, much to Diane's chagrin. All right, the Quebradora con Giro.
You'd think that, seeing as how he's got Bishop running at his beck and call, he could be like, "Hey, would you mind putting these in for me?" Just hand him a big sack of tapes and a hazmat bag.
Yeah. Oh, but what's this?
Bada-bum.
The next ranker's one dangerous dude. Okay. Yeah, so that's telling you like to go to the subway.
Have we been to see Naomi again?
No, I'm not. In fact, I actually let me just like double check to make sure like what the yeah, it's still because I still remember vaguely the price of like the straight beam katana upgrade that we need. So I'm actually
Just going
uh,
for that.
uh yeah, unfortunately, as much as I didn't want to like do this on stream, we are going to repeat an assassination gig just to get the money we need,
Right.
just to get us over 100K. Travis, for God's sake, stop getting winded.
Just really all we need is Sylvia coming in, going like, Travis, you have no stamina, no?
Hello, Travis.
Even after all that time at the gym. Listen, you don't want to know what goes on at that gym.
Look, I know what you're thinking, but it wasn't really working out. Well, I mean, it was working out, but it wasn't working out.
Well, you just go into the lobby and you'll see what I mean.
Well, I'm certainly working out something after all that. Just not quite comfortable with what it may mean.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, so... Yeah, yeah. I was actually kind of trying to double check, like, through this to make sure, like, if there was something that could give me, like, a recap of, like, what all my different moves are, just because I feel like I'm going crazy as far as, like, why the jumping slash wasn't working sometimes and others it did, but whatever. Guess it'll be as good a time to test it again.
Let's see.
I can hear you fact checking.
Well, it might be helpful.
And that's why I have you here.
I'm helping.
Yep, you're helping and making me not feel so awkward if I were to just talk to myself in an empty void.
No, that's just a general purpose guide. I imagine the controls would be much the same for the
Yeah.
Wii version as it'd be for the Switch.
Yeah, because I imagine like if there are motions that are tied specifically to the nunchuck, then naturally it'd be tied to the left Joy-Con, and vice
Yeah.
versa with Wii Remote to the right one. Because I'm pretty positive it did say shake the left Joy-Con to do that jumping slash.
Yeah.
Unless it also has something to do in correspondence with like high or low stance or whatever, which I can't imagine. More school kid murder.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
I'll mess you up.
You're a die! What a pain!
Oh, shit. It's okay, just set something on fire.
Technical difficulties. I definitely hope the audio is ultimately better for people that might be watching this in a VOD.
Well, I've certainly not heard anything from my friends who are watching, like, other than, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? But, you know, I get that in real life, so it's not really much of a problem.
What a pain! You're a joke! You're a
Yeah, not really seeing anything that's not, like, just the controls as it would be in the manual.
Oh well. I got my money.
It is what it is.
Alright. 60k, that's good.
Time to get me a sword.
Yep, new sword, and then we can finally go on to the next assassination mission. With one of the best characters in the whole series.
It's not Destroy Man.
It is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Huh.
it's number 7.
Ah, okay.
I still remember every boss and their rank by heart, just because I adore this game so much.
Because I remember that
Which is
you
more than I
fight
can
him
say for
at-
Desperate Struggle and its rankings, because half of them literally don't exist.
I remember the music for Desperate Struggle.
Yeah. I remember Nathan is our boss and Philistine.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I remember 2 of the songs.
Oh wait, no, I remember 3. It's those 2, and it's the version of the No More Heroes theme when you're on your way to Nathan. Because it's a surprise, it's another vocal track. It's just the main theme.
See, I also remember, I think it's the final boss theme.
Oh, for freaking Jasper.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or one of the final areas and the final boss. 2 of them. One's called Convulsive Madness, and I forget what the other one's called.
Convulsive Madness is a very good Suda 51 game music title.
Yeah. Very good piece of music as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't forget as well that there's like 3 different versions of Philistine, depending on which version you're playing.
Well, I think specifically 2. I think it's specifically like for whatever reason, I think Japanese and PAL version have like the same one, while North America has like its own different one.
Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, I would not be surprised considering that the original Japanese and PAL versions of No More Heroes might as well have been the same due to cutting out all the blood.
Basically, yeah. But the American version of Philistine basically sucks anyway, so...
Yeah. I mean, the song itself, like, is one that you really would not want to listen to in any normal circumstances, even the one that's in the PAL and Japanese versions.
Beg to differ, I listen to it all the time.
Oh, I listen to it too, but that's not to say that my taste is any good. I mean, for fuck's sake, years of playing DDR has like inundated me to like 90s Euro dance. My taste in trash knows no bounds.
But at least you don't watch Initial D. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't watch it, I listened to it.
Oh God.
Oh man.
It's funny as well because the first time I ever encountered any of the music from Initial D was in a fan video that someone made for a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure meetup in Japan back
Oh
in like
dear.
2005.
Oh man.
That that was quite the mindfuck. It's like
Yeah.
it was just crossing too many streams at once.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
That said, though, if I had the choice of recommending two different types of music, I probably would still recommend Initial D, like Eurobeats, over any of like the silly Eurodance shit from like DDR or like the Dance Mania albums, which is where they're all sourced from, really.
Yeah.
I'd have an easier time trying to like recommend running in the '90s than like some like weird hyper remix version of Cartoon Heroes by Aqua.
Oh God.
Yes, I do
Please.
know all these names. I wasn't kidding.
Okay, so like my respect for you was somewhere around about here. It's not here anymore.
Yeah, you're right. It's gone up, surprisingly.
What are the odds? It's the darndest thing.
Actually, in all honesty, I probably shouldn't have just mentioned Aqua. I should have just made mention of, like, Captain Jack. That's probably a lot easier to sell people on.
As someone who used to hang around with a bunch of weebs that would constantly play Step Mania, no, it is not.
Oh, dear.
They'd be like, no, look how good I am at this game, and just flail on the keys like they were having a panic attack.
Yeah, like, I play Step Mania on occasion, but I know full well that, like, I'm not really in a position to show off with it just because I've not had, like, the circumstances have not really allowed me to have an actual dance pad to, like, play it the right way.
Yeah, no, they would just be playing it on a keyboard and hammering the keys like that. Like, you know the movie version of Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, with, like, when the fingers all split apart into
Yeah,
multiple little tendrils.
And he starts typing like 3 billion words a minute. Like that, and I'm like, you're not actually pressing the buttons, you're just flailing around madly.
It's also bullshit because you know that, like, whatever, like, those key charts are that require them to hit them that fast were clearly not designed with a dance pad in mind.
Not unless you've got 17 people involved.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know how that would
Unless you
work.
got, like, 4 people sitting at, like, the 4 cardinal directions of the pad and just have their hands at the ready to slap the shit out of it like it's track and field. Yeah, I miss playing DDR. I genuinely do. Including all, like, the silly music and Eurodance choices that they got from, like, the old mixes.
Yeah. It's one of those things I never really got into, mainly because I never found much music that I enjoy. And if I'm going to get into any kind of music game, I have to like the music.
I get that, yeah. But it's just in the case of DDR that, like, the music choices in that are super specific that, like, I had no choice but to like it.
I think they call that Stockholm Syndrome. Like, after a while, it stops becoming a personal choice and starts becoming mental illness.
Oh, yeah. This is where the beam katana combos start getting more interesting because now the beat attacks start getting mixed in a lot more smoothly with the katana itself.
Yeah,
Like that.
once you get a decent sword, the combat actually starts becoming fun.
It does, except that this is the mission where they start introducing the most annoying enemy type.
Guns or pipes?
Guns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I distinctly remember because, like, that's the whole point of, like... Even I am still trying to figure out, like, why the whole freaking... stupid jump slash. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, someone on Reddit has asked the exact same question.
For the Switch version?
Yep, swing the left Joy-Con and push the A button at the same time.
Are you serious?
Apparently it's more of a downward flick. Or on a Pro Controller, A and X at the same time.
Well, there's a charge slash, which I've barely been using, even though I knew it's always been there.
Yeah, kind of forget that's in there.
Yeah.
Remember, it uses a fuck ton of battery, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But yeah, like, freaking A and the motion at the same time. That feels way counterintuitive to what I remember it being. I feel positive that it was just you shaking the nunchuck in the original.
Maybe they had to change it because a lot of people use Pro controllers or put it in the controller, put the Joy-Cons in the controller caddy.
Maybe, but I can't imagine why they would need to do that, considering motion controls is an option you can just turn off. Oh well, that's weird. Well, yeah, thanks for letting me know on that. I'm glad I wasn't going crazy wondering why it was seemingly inconsistent.
Yeah, just shitty programming.
Yeah. Just a weird design decision of all things.
I mean, it could be worse. There was, I can't remember what game it was.
Yeah, it could be worse. We could be playing the Heroes Paradise version where the Move controller's, like, motion sensitivity is even more dog shit.
Yeah, I never played it with the control, say with the motion controls on, I'd like to point out.
Yeah, well,
but
yeah, for Heroes Paradise, in that case, consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. But there was one game, I can't remember what it was playing. It was on the PS3 or PS4. And in order to pull off a special move, you needed to hit square and circle at the same time.
Oh, that is...
Which are opposite sides of the controller.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. But we made it to Bear Hug Film Studios. The most respected film studio.
The most respected film studio in Santa Destroy.
Yep. Alright, now here's where the real bullshit starts.
Ah, they've got kitty ears.
There we go. Yeah. You know, funny enough, I think it actually makes more sense if you're doing it in the middle of a combo, because you're kind of already rhythmically pressing the button. I think that's actually why I was getting thrown off and why I was getting it sometime back during one of the earlier missions, because I was doing it like in the middle of a combo instead of, oh shit, I gotta recharge. I forgot, because it also takes a ton of battery.
Stupid Naomi, why don't you work in your shit? Stiffing you with the battery upgrades.
But yeah, with the way the controls are set up, it absolutely works a lot better, like, as something to insert in the middle of a combo rather than start it.
Yeah, I remember using it more as a combo extender rather than a hit and run.
Yeah. The thing is, I remember using it for both in the original. I think that's just because, like, it is such a powerful tool for knocking over anything in front of you. That, like, it made more sense to me, like, in the Wii version to use it as a sort of thing to just kind of clear out a group. And yeah, here's what I was talking about, like, these assholes. Which I think technically we already had to deal with back during, like, the Pizza Bat missions, but
yeah,
this is where they become a lot more prominent from here on.
Well, that's clearly a contravention of the Geneva Conventions. He was running away. And they're all just like, stab, stab, stab.
Yeah. So yeah, with how our beam katana is now, and really, game, you had to do this again. But yeah, as
that was a wild second and a half.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, like, yeah, with how our beam katana is at the moment, it does, like, doing the low combos is very conducive to allowing us to do, like, the, get the beat attacks and do, like, a grapple finish. It's all fun. Still wish it was at the point where like the katana actually did get flung up in the air and could like just impale on them after the move finishes, but that's for much later.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a couple of moves at the end where you do that. Also, I will forever love the fact that these guys are just running around with stop signs as weapons.
Yeah, just paper bag masks. It's just the weirdest like clothing choices for these guys, and they're on a movie set, so you'd think they'd go with something more like outlandish or like high budget, but not really.
Nah. It's like the asylum of movie studios.
That's too mean for Bear Hugger Studios. They deserve better. I mean, it's called Bear Hug.
Yeah.
Anything that has like any sort of like where the name has any sort of connection to wrestling deserves to be much better than it is in the Sudiverse.
I think this predates the Asylum by a couple of years as well.
Does it? I guess it does. Yeah, Asylum always was kind of like a late 2000s thing.
Yeah. Might be wrong, probably am, but I always want to think that they came around in the scene later than they probably did, if only because it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
What, you mean they've been doing this since '98? Oh god, no!
Oh man. Though I would not be surprised if it went that far back.
Yeah. Well, these things always kind of wind up doing that, because it starts off as some idiot's vanity project, then mutates into a life form of its own.
Mm-hmm. It starts out as a joke, just to be ironic, but then they get too seeped into the irony that it no longer becomes it.
And then before you know it, someone's suggesting they remake Godzilla for the 15th time. But this time set it in Delaware.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Godzilla Fresno Wars. Actually, no, I would probably watch that.
Oh my goodness. You're not gonna shoot me, asshole. Damn it, he... I was gonna spare you with a sick wrestling move, but now I have to decapitate you. I hope you're happy. In hell.
Right, now I gotta kill this really crappy furry.
Oh,
like,
man.
It's a paper bag, it's not even real fur. At least you could feather the edges a bit. Pussy.
And the irony was not lost on that man when he was called a pussy.
Honestly, it was the happiest he'd been in years.
Oh yeah, that felt good.
So satisfying.
Alright, I forgot that charge of Day 2's unblockable. Oh.
Nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, double kill.
Now we start getting the good stuff.
Yeah, this is fun. Well, not the gun people, but you know what I mean. We get a lot more fun stuff to work with.
That's always been kind of a thing in Suda's games, because I remember in Killer is Dead, any ranged enemies being a complete pain in the ass as well.
Oh yeah, but it was at least somewhat more mitigated in like once you got some of the later upgrades that let you like you do a perfect dodge and then you can immediately retaliate with a well-placed headshot.
Yeah.
Travis unfortunately does not have anything of the sort, which means you do have to do the very annoying like chase after and like hope that they don't keep running just out of reach.
Yeah. Of course, when you've got like 20 guys on the field and 3 of them have guns, that's going to be a bad time.
Yeah. Still, ultimately, like the one like Shin game series I can think of that like keeps you well equipped to deal with projectile bullshit, even if it doesn't feel like it at the moment, is of course Ninja Gaiden. 2 especially.
It always comes back to Ninja Gaiden.
You know me.
What in the hell happened there? Is there another gun guy?
No, that was... No, the lightsaber dude just threw a projectile.
Ah.
Yeah, it basically did kind of like the same thing that I can do with one of the dark side abilities, where like you just swing out a projectile.
Oh, right.
Goes into that weird RE4 camera angle.
Yeah, it's just because the camera was stuck in the wall, and I was like, what the hell's even going on anymore?
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Hey, Sylvia.
Hey, Travis. Your next ranked battle is at the filming studio. Win, and you'll be 7th. Lose, and you're dropping down to an even deeper circle of hell. So, how are you feeling, Travis? Your head feeling better?
It's not too bad. I haven't had a drink in like a week, so like no need for a hangover.
Step inside. Some people say it's important to know when to give up. That you shouldn't aim for things that are obviously beyond your grasp. But
If that was the case, you wouldn't even bother getting out of bed in the morning.
Before the first punch has even been thrown.
Or hopelessly thinking that you're actually going to be able to have sex with me when all this is done.
And you call yourself an assassin. This is why third rates like you are hopeless. I am 120% certain you are going to die.
Burning Limited?
All you can do is trust your force and head
R-Type?
to the garden of madness.
No, that
Different
reference was
metaphor.
too obscure even for you.
Hey, I'm looking forward to R-Type Final 2, damn it.
No, well, no, I was making an Oscar 120 reference.
I haven't actually seen that.
Oh, no, it's
So, yeah, well done.
Well, yeah. No, it wasn't even, not even an anime that I was referring to. It's specifically like an old series of like, quite possibly one of the earliest examples of an anime fighter.
It was wrestling based series, wasn't it?
No, it was a 2D fighter that was like basically you're all playing as like high school girls, but like of like different club types.
Hmm.
Is like the thing that I find most remarkable about it is that like the studio that made it, like they kept like the later games, like the last few in the series were like stuff that got ported to Saturn, and I guess because they were like not really able to keep the company together too long, that like one of the updates they put out for it was unofficially distributed for the Saturn. That's how dedicated they were to keep trying to like fix and like refining it. Yeah, it's interesting.
I've heard of it. I just know nothing about it.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where you look at it and it's like just the character designs and visual styles are just so 90s anime as fuck. It's perfect.
Well, are we talking like Tenchimuyo, Slayers, Sakura Wars?
A bit of it definitely feels like a mix of the first two.
Because the Slayers look should definitely make a comeback.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's the over the top cartoony spiky look. It's a lost art.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a lost art that, like, even with all the stuff being done digitally now, that no one's really been able to, like, properly capture, like, that sort of, like, old, like, pre-2000s anime, like, look to it, you know? With, like, just the specific things that, like, you can tell not only were done by hand, by analog, but also were clearly designed back when, like, CRTs were, like, the main viewing medium, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just think about, like, anytime there's, like, some sort of, like, glowy light source, it just channels that CRT phosphorus look that is so lost to time.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, and that one explosion noise that you always hear.
Yeah. To the point that it's like almost seizure inducing. In fact, we should just leave that part behind. We kind of don't want to like cause that sort of problem.
My apologies.
Anyway, here's young Ocelot after the Cold War.
Stand these
There wasn't much more like opportunities for spies, so he just had to readjust to being live as a postal worker.
I made it on time.
Did go buff.
That's the important thing, right?
Yeah,
I take it you're Mr.
in the gym and all that.
You? You're ranked?
Not me. Well, actually, it is me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Josh
Never
Keaton's a
mind.
good voice
I've
actor.
got a job to do. But first, I need some time to get ready. Would you mind turning the other way? I need some privacy.
Privacy?
Yes, I need to prepare.
Whatever. Don't mind me. Pretend I'm not even here.
I just need you to look the other way for a second.
A second.
Let me just pull out the latest issue of New Type and sit in the corner.
Then we can get on with our fight?
That is correct.
Oh, look at that. There's a new
Alright.
Captain Harlock anime coming out. Oh, shit.
Oh shit! I didn't order a photon beam.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry, it
Whoa,
just went
that was
off.
Close. For a second there, I forgot that you were a killer.
Sorry if I scared
I
you.
love Destroy
Didn't mean to
Man.
do that. Something's wrong with me today.
Just such a dick.
I let my guard
This
down.
this is just one of those characters where like even if you aren't really that into or familiar with like trying to analyze every single like assassin and what they represent in the context of
We're both
heroes,
assassins, right?
this is the one that is like the most obvious that you should understand right off the
It's
bat.
absolutely
Yeah.
meaningless.
It's about
And also
determining
just the way he
who's
says
right.
Mr.
That's what it's
Cosplay.
about.
Can't argue with that. Well then.
Yeah, Destroy Man is just it's like you said, he is such a
You wanna
dick.
shake hands?
We're both fighters,
In
aren't
fact,
we?
you could even argue that Destroy Man is his actual true self, and the Postal Boy is the alter ego.
Before and after
Just
the
like
fight.
Batman.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Likewise.
it's like there was like a video from like a series that I remember being done by I forget the channel name, but like he did like a series of like analysis on like different games that Suda was involved with that like basically had to do with like when Suda's games started coming over to the West. The series was called Deadly Individualism, and I think when he got to like describing Destroy Man, I specifically recall him using a clip from Kill Bill, which was on the subject that I think you might recall about like the nature of like what's really like the alter ego, like who's like is the superhero the actual person or just like the alter ego that the real person dons.
Yeah.
Yeah, which basically used to describe to like Uma Thurman's characters like that, you know, I'm saying you're a killer, you know, that sort of thing. That like the actual superheroes themselves are like the real self because that's what they try and use to justify them going like
You look
above
like
the
you're
law.
dead. I guess it's time for a wake-up call.
For a second, I thought you were talking about a dude called Hikikomori Media, I think I've mentioned before. Because he's done a big thing on all of Suda's games. And
This is where it gets
he's also doing Swery 65.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. I want to say it was something like Genry Perez or something. I forget if that's that might even be something I'm completely mixing up.
I'll admit you've got potential. If challenged.
But I know like that series Deadly Individualism is also where like I heard the anecdote for Shadows of the Damned how like
Yeah, sure.
Garcia had a different voice actor but was replaced with Steve Bloom at the last minute. Like that's specifically where like I recall hearing that detail
You're as good
before
as
we did
dead.
the Shadows LP.
Yeah. Still did a really good job with it.
Surprisingly. And this is where using the right analog stick to do the dodge is, well, not that time, but it's extra useful now just because he has so much armor that he powers through all of your hits. He's at least easier to like tell when he's gonna do stuff, unlike Shinobu, because like any good superhero, he calls out his attacks.
Well, I mean, it's just polite.
Oh, of course.
And everyone knows that shouting the name of an attack makes it at least 150% stronger.
Yes, and of course, anytime that you're going to do a transformation sequence, it's only natural to set up that everyone be polite and wait for it to be done. Otherwise, you have to set up like a proper like transformation protection field.
That's what the explosions are for.
Yeah, that's what Gal Gaigar does every time it combines. No joke, like that's... It's funny, we were talking about Ava earlier, and the whole, like, the fact that it's basically, like, a more adult deconstruction, kind of take on that concept. But that's, like, the better part about what makes Gal Gaigar even better, is that it aired immediately afterwards. And whether by sheer coincidence or that they knew exactly what they were doing, they were full on reconstruction and being like, yes, we know that all this is really silly and wouldn't hold water in a real-life setting, but we're going to commit to it anyway and explain it away. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's funny when it came out in the West, because everyone was like, no, this is a reply/rebuttal of everything that happened in Ava, and it's like, it was in pre-production at the same time as Evangelion.
Yeah, but it's still fun to think that it's like
actually know
that.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, it's great to imagine,
yeah. But I imagine because it's like, Ava was 95, Gal Gaigar was 97, and the whole point was that, like, it was, like, the last of the Brave series, which was already going on through, like, the majority of the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, at one point they were like, okay, well, this is going to be the last one. But then, you know, Gal Gaigar wound up being, like, the most popular series that they'd done in about 15 years.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay, well, maybe we should do another one? But it sadly never came to pass.
Mm-hmm.
We did get Gal Gaigar final out of it, though, so...
Oh, yeah. Which was amazing, with one of the best, like, no-hold-barred beat-down, like, between giant robots ever in the final episode.
A lot of people don't like it because it's a lot more, quote-unquote, mature. But
it's still... I mean, like, the stakes were raised. And even then, they were already raising the stakes pretty heavily by the time the anime got to, like, its second arc, you know? Once, like, the new villains came in and just cleaned house.
Well, that was the thing, because, like, yes, you know, it was darker, but that's because the bad guys started playing for keeps, and, you know, any death couldn't really be undone at that point.
Yeah. And even then, it's like, dare I say, it's an even better version it's even better than, like, when Gurren Lagann basically did the same thing with Team Daigurn going after the anti-spiral.
Still one of my favorite arcs in any show.
Yeah. Which is not to say, like, that part of Gurren Lagann isn't bad. It's definitely a relief after you finish dredging through the whole Communist City bullshit.
Yeah, that was, like, the first time I watched it, I remember thinking, okay, so, like, can we, like, not do the politics thing? This is kind of boring. But now, whenever I rewatch it, it's like, I view it as sort of, like, downtime between, the end of the previous arc and the beginning of the next one, you know?
I guess, but I feel like the downtime that they did after Kamina died was, like, still kind of dredging, but, like, way less insufferable than when they tried to do it again. I think that's actually kind of the other reason, is because, like, they do the downtime multiple times, and it just never feels, like, engaging the way that they want it to.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, that whole section is pretty forgivable, except for Viral being a badass.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, the fact that they take a large part of that to essentially redeem Viral. Like, if you could cut out the majority of it but leave those bits in, it would be a lot better, I think.
Oh, damn it, I think I'm gonna die.
Oh, shit.
I completely forgot how you're supposed to properly dodge that, and I think I was staying too close. Shit.
Cock rocket!
That's something that really needs to happen more with giant robots.
Cock rockets?
Yeah. I mean, we already have boob rockets.
Well, I mean,
although, to be fair, it only really feels like Aphrodite A has that concept unlocked, because Go Nagai is a pervy bastard.
He's a gigantic pervert.
Yeah, I still remember being told, like, the old urban legend about Go Nagai, and even though I'm pretty sure, like, it couldn't possibly be real, I still like to think it was. And it was the idea that Go Nagai's editors purposefully kept him a virgin just so that he could keep coming up with more and more fucked up, perverted ideas.
No,
Like, as long as he
was
did have
married.
no idea what actual sex was like, he could come up with something even more outlandish.
Well, I mean, I can just imagine him being like, okay, so you remember Mazinger?
Yeah.
Killed her on. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me! I am so close, I can taste it! But yeah, the thing about the cock rocket actually is that I have seen one instance where that actually came true. And it's the most unlikely of places. It was...
I mean, Zone of the Enders had the cockpits.
Yeah.
So,
But no, what it actually is so Combattler V was one of those old, like, 70s robot animes that came out, like, in the wake of Mazinger and Get a Robo and all that. It didn't
Yeah,
exist in the original anime. But it got, for whatever fucking reason, like, new animation for a pachinko game in 2012. And no joke, there is a shot of Combattler V shooting a rocket out of its crotch. I am not making this up.
also, how did I completely forget the machine gun jubblies?
Yes, the machine gun titties. with the best final hit, where it's just the lazy downward slash. It's like, man, I'm done. Fuck you.
Fuck this. Jesus. It's like, God, we get it. Machine gun titties. Just.
With just 1 point of health left. I have to be honest though, I feel after this, I am now more confident in my ability to just talk about bullshit live. That I was able to get through that, have us barely talk about the fight whatsoever. Like, that is technically even worse than I think that the times that we've ever gone off topic in the main LPs. Like 99% of that shit was just talking about old 90s anime and, like, robot anatomy. That was amazing.
Pretty clutch, gonna say.
Yeah, that was great. Oh man.
You are now 7th in rank.
Hey, when I hit number 1,
Like, I'm standing right here, no need for the megaphone.
No need to pretty up. I want you.
I know, but it makes me feel like Cecil B. DeMille.
Mm-hmm.
serious? Damn.
Yo ho ho ho.
Yeah, just thinking of all those, like, dumb laughs, and, like, Sylvia totally would go in on the Ojo laugh.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. No, she would go full Naga the Serpent and just have the most irritating laugh ever.
Oh, yeah, and it's still mixed in with her French accent.
I think thoughts less than that have driven people to kill.
Oh, man, yeah.
Just listening to that for 3 seconds overrides a switch in your brain.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, time for murder.
Okay. Whew. So, the best superhero has been killed. We're never gonna see that guy again. What a shame. Nah, kidding. We're gonna see him in Desperate Struggle, and presumably again in No More Heroes 3.
Hopefully he just comes back as like a head on a stick.
I mean, we've seen the concept art, actually. I do appreciate, actually, I think Suda has the right idea of, like, of all the characters to bring back for, like, a gag. He's got it right with the bullshit he's come up with for Destroy Man.
Congratulations, Mr. Touchdown. Your registration for the 7th U.S.
Oh, man.
is now
Whew.
complete. As always, We have faxed you some information.
Now, better yet, he teams up with Dr.
Would you
Shake,
wish to continue your assessment?
and it's just two heads in jars. Two
Mhm.
brains in jars.
Oh man, it's just Destroy Man with like the robot parts put together, but like in his abdomen is just like Dr. Shake, but like in a Krang kind of kind of setup. So yeah, we gotta pay 300,000, which we're about 2/3 of the way there.
Oh, look, Gene's flying.
Yeah, you having fun there, little kitty?
See, this is why I do not have a ceiling fan.
You
Because
knew this
I
would
know-
happen.
Like, I could just picture myself, like, putting some catnip on the end of a rope and annoying the cats with it, and then they just start flying.
Yeah,
And then I'm taken to court by the neighbors.
yeah.
And they just won't believe my defensive, okay, but it's really funny.
Mm-hmm. Oh damn it! I missed the card.
Oh, Featherman.
Oh well.
As Casco.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah, I think it was very clear. Like, if not during the first stream, then this during one. I'm not gonna be bothered that much about any cards that I miss.
Mm.
All right. Beefhead's next door, so hey, let's just double check to see if they got any new tapes in.
Hey, Bishop, any chance of getting that bitch Diane off my back? Oh, hi, Diane.
Oh,
Travis,
you.
how's business?
She's just like, yeah, you're kind of breaking the court order that we have, so...
Meanwhile, check out this death threat from his girlfriend. Oh Jesus.
It's worse than we thought. She's German.
Your love life, your career, worthless. Hey, buddy's in suffering. Put her there.
Yeah, but on the other hand, so is Bishop. So you know.
Yeah. Oh, hey, our mentor's on this video. I totally
You want
gotta
to
buy
watch
it now.
that?
The eye for cool. I mean,
It's
That
actually a
depend-
lazy eye, but
that depends on your definition of cool. Okay.
it's a medical condition, and I thank you not to draw attention to it.
Yeah. By the way, say hi to your twin brother Georgie for me. We didn't
Ah,
even
last
know
I
that was
saw,
gonna.
he was-
Be, we didn't even know that was gonna be a thing until 2019.
That's weird, because last I saw Georgie was at this checkpoint trying to get through, but being harassed by a dog girl. Weird.
I was honest to God thinking that you were gonna start making a reference to Pennywise, but I guess that's better.
Well,
I
there's
mean, it's not a
better,
clown
and there's-
trying to eat him in a storm drain.
Oh, like you've never had a clown trying to eat you in a storm drain. Wait, what?
Oh, the blowjobs I've had, you wouldn't believe.
My God, the sex I've had and forced people to watch.
And all of them not with an orgy of children.
My lawyer
Fuck
has
you,
advised me just to
yeah,
move
fuck
on.
you, King. That is still the weirdest, most uncomfortable part about your story.
Yeah, it turns out the train in the Dark Tower series was only the second worst one he'd ever written about.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's somewhat redeemed by the fact that he clearly did not like Trump or any of the other, like, dumb alt-right bullshit going on, if his Twitter was any indication. But, like...
Yeah, I'm
I d-
gonna say not that much.
Yeah, not
I mean-
much. He's still an old
there's-
guy.
There's only so far you can go.
Yeah. Oh, well. It's... Yeah, just like these kind of people, they just operate on like a system of like, what is their net positives and net negatives? Like,
And how can we
how much
exploit
are
other
how much are they willing to cancel each other out? All right, got the pen out. I hope this is picking up on the mic.
Oh boy, howdy, yeah. Or at least it is when you're talking.
Oh yeah, because I got the noise canceller on. Because on top of this, I also have a fan going because, as you'd expect, living in the northern ass end of the United States, you gotta have to keep things heated in your home. Unfortunately, I get hot as fuck. Not in the attractive way. So I have to kind of make do with leaving a fan on 24/7. Yes, even when I sleep. It kind of wreaks havoc on my sinuses when I wake up, but at least I don't end up with with an actual cold.
Yeah, I had a moment a couple of days ago where I woke up, back of my nose was feeling scratchy, chest was feeling kind of crappy, and I was like, okay, can I taste anything?
Yeah.
Turned out I just completely forgot to turn the heating up overnight, and I was like, oh, it's because you've been sleeping in a cold room, you fucking moron.
Frankly, I'd take that.
Oh, yeah. I was just sort of like, well, at least it's not any of the alternatives. Because the last thing I need right now is a cold or the lurgy.
Yeah. Alright. Thanks, Thunder Ryu. Bye, Thunder Ryu.
I wait for you.
Yes, you'll keep waiting for me.
Junk strap.
Oh, man.
I just like to imagine he has a habit of repeating the last word that he says, but with more emphasis.
Yeah. That makes sense. That, or like I like to think that things, like every time you visit, things get like increasingly more concerning as far as like not just what he says, but also the things in his office reflecting that. like one day Travis is gonna walk in there and see a casting couch and realize that something's gone very, very wrong.
Just sitting there like, you know, that black leather sofa looks really familiar, but I'll be damned if I know why.
I mean, all the other seats he has in there already are like black or dark colored leather. If anyone else walked in there who didn't know better, they would just think it's a regular old couch.
Just like, Thunder Ryu Sensei, why is that big black leather suit there? It is for weight loss.
And the camera?
Never you mind. just looks really shifty and is like, yes.
Yeah. Thunder Ryu, I noticed that giant window into the actual gym, but every time I look at it from the other side, I just see myself. Why is that?
Yes.
Never mind.
Never ask questions you do not want to know the answer to. Yeah, but I really feel that I need to know, if only from a legal standpoint.
Oh, no, don't worry. Everything legal in Santa Destroy.
It is only illegal if you get caught.
Everything legal, like Amsterdam. I'm pretty sure even Amsterdam has laws. Yes, laws that make everything legal.
Yes, they operate on the law of the jungle. And that just raises further questions. Ones that I really don't want to know the answer to.
Oh.
Thunder Ryu. World-class wrestler, serial pervert.
And everyone just has to put up with it because according to Japanese anime and manga character law, if they're really good and professional at their job, that means you have to put up with all their other personal bullshit, including their weird sex things.
It just shows I have stamina. Yes, it also shows that you've been banned from every eating establishment in a 5-mile radius.
Yeah. You know, I've been thinking of wanting to rebrand this gym. What do you think of Kame House?
You do not want to know what I think about that. Just the thought of
Why
you
not?
in a
We'd
turtle.
have a turtle.
Yeah, I would start fearing for the turtle. And I'm fairly certain that even bestiality is illegal in Santa Destroy. Not 100% certain. Just about 45%.
Man, with all the references I was making, I'm glad you decided to make the implication that Master Roshi fucks the turtle.
Why else would he have it around? I mean, come on.
I mean, he's not gonna... I mean, he's clearly proven that he can't keep Bulma around.
Exactly.
She's got better things to do, like getting that Saiyan dick. Although she didn't even know that she was gonna be getting that until years later.
Still say the DBZA version of their courtship.
Oh,
It
yeah.
should be canon.
Oh, I'd agree. Yeah. Anyway, time to
The
fill
old-
up some gas because these drivers are too lazy to get out of their fucking car and man the pump themselves.
What is this, the 1940s?
That, or maybe that's giving them too much credit and that they're too stupid that they probably just leak gas everywhere. This is probably to keep another, like, Zoolander situation from happening.
Just imagine that everyone in Santa Destroy is suffering from repeated blunt force head trauma.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing where, like, if you see some assholes in, like, an open-roof Jeep with orange mocha frappuccinos roll up, it's like, okay, like, put locks on all of the gas, like, stations. Just do not let these fuckers touch it.
But make sure you get the typewriter so you can leave them a nice googly.
Mm-hmm. So far, nothing is blowing up.
So far.
So far, we got 2.5 minutes left to see if that changes.
At least the the amount that you can be over or under the mark is fairly generous.
It is. Like, the thing it honestly looks for a lot more, I feel, is if you actually get to the red arrow right at the top. Which some of
Yeah.
these forces you to get very close.
I mean, that one there was nowhere near the yellow arrow.
Yeah. Admittedly, there's, like, a bit of a delay from when it stops and, like, when you, like, let go of the buttons, so I think if you get really good at this, you kind of understand that you have to let go just before... Oh, shit, well, whatever. Don't arrest me. Oh, hey, you're back. Sorry about that. Oh, shit.
Look, I'll just set myself on fire, save us all a lot of trouble, okay?
Thank you for not arresting me. I'm sorry, this will go right the next time. I swear. Thank you. Why do you keep coming back here, officer? Jesus Christ, how did you pimp this thing out?
Look, officer, I know you think this is Grand Theft Auto, but you've been sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. Still 15 cars satisfied, that's not too bad. Although some of
Yeah.
them are clearly not because they keep coming back for more.
Well, I mean, that guy with the impossibly pimped out car probably gets about 3 foot to the gallon, so...
Yeah. Yeah, that's the secret. His gas tank is actually just really, really small. And also, thanks for reminding me that, like, once the stream is done and I upload the next part of Steel Battalion, I'm gonna have to refill gas. Because it's getting that low again.
Fair enough. Glad to be of assistance.
Yeah. Yeah, how fortuitous that this was the mini game that had to come up.
I'm helping!
You know, as far as mini games in the series go, where it's about, like, trying to time something like this, I do kind of wish that the burger flipping game in Desperate Struggle was a lot more like this one was. Because for whatever reason, I always disliked having to, like, keep mental track of, like, what sort of, like, how much they want their burger done. That you basically had, that, like, you had to remember it and then keep it on the grill. I've like, as much as it would kind of diminish the challenge they were going for, I would much rather if they just had, like, the image up, like, at all times on all skill levels.
Hmm.
It'd just make it a lot easier for me.
Yeah, it's like, this is probably... The petrol station one's probably the quickest one that you can do in terms of minigames, but it's also the most boring.
It is, yeah.
Welcome.
And depending on who you are, if you have, like, an equally boring job, you might be well suited to it. I mean, as long as it's something where it's like, it's a job that is, while admittedly boring, you don't, it's not one that you end up having to, like, change course on so frequently or having to, like, constantly check back in with your supervisor, then, like, there's not much complaining. I guess that's kind of, like, the thing that's always my takeaway, based on, like, the jobs that I've had in the past and even my current one, is that I can potentially tolerate having to do a lot of repetitive menial shit if it means I get to minimize my contact with other humans as much as possible.
I mean, there's a reason why I keep going to office jobs.
Yeah, but even then, I've never even gotten an actual office job.
They can either be really, really good or make you want to murder everyone in the office and then yourself.
Yeah, and I imagine part of that would be depending on how often you have to communicate with, like, the rest of, like, the chain of command.
Well, I've been kind of lucky in the last couple of ones that I've done because I've been allowed to have headphones on and listen to music while I'm working.
Yeah, same here. That's actually what my current job allows, and it's the first time I've had something like that, and it's a godsend.
It is so good.
Like,
But
yeah.
half the time, if I'm trying to concentrate on something, I just put the headphones in and don't listen to music, and people don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
They're like, oh wow, he's working really hard, and it's like me staring at an Excel spreadsheet, thinking about cats I'd like to pet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, at least, like, keeping the headphones up has always been kind of, like, my general tactic to make sure that, like, at least when I was, like, living in Washington State and kind of the more busy, like, city areas, to make sure that any passerbys would not bother me.
Yeah.
Like that's, like, a good tactic to have if you're, like, if you're needing to be outside to go someplace for any reason, especially if you don't have a car, like I did for a while, and being like, okay, I just need to go out, do this shit. I do not want to run into any other people that might possibly want to, like, ask me for directions or some shit, because I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've always got a really obvious pair of headphones stuck to my head 24/7, so...
Mm-hmm.
You know, anyone tries to talk to me, it's like, sorry, I did not hear you.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really funny moment once. So, like, when I'm out and about in public and I've got my headphones on, I am literally on autopilot.
Yeah.
And I was walking through a shopping arcade once,
Mm-hmm.
and someone steps in front of me, so just body swerve them. Someone else steps in front of me, body swerve them again. Third time happens, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this place is full of people right now. What the hell? And then I feel a hand on my shoulder. I'm like, whoa, what is it? And it's a friend of mine. He's like, dude, I've been trying to get your attention for like the last 10 minutes. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like,
oh, man.
Awkward!
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I was just like, for fuck's sake, too many people. Oh, that's a friend of mine. Whoops. Thankfully, you saw the funny side of it and wasn't like, this guy thinks I'm a dick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you would have been entirely justified in thinking that.
Anyway, here's the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
100 of these masked dudes to just mercilessly kill, who all basically are ready for a death blow in one hit.
Yeah, I remember this one being simultaneously a chore and a lot of fun, depending on how it goes.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah. This is the part where it can be kind of a quick chore since you have to, like, occasionally back off. And then... oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, the low charge attack is a bitch when it comes to, like, draining your health. I mean, not health, your battery.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Another, yeah, kind of, like, as it shows, it's a pretty good one to go with before getting to mission 18. Like, because chances are, I guess, like, if it turns out there's anything before the end of the stream where, like, there's something I want to buy and I need more money, could probably do this again easily, or any of the other ones.
Yeah, it's one of the less egregious kill missions.
Yeah. I mean, like, the weaker they are, like, the more pleasant it is. like even these beam katana guys, you know, like they're tanks in the main assassin missions.
Yeah, I'll give them their credit. They balanced this one more or less right.
Yeah.
It's just that when it starts going bad, it starts going really bad.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of wonder now, like, what the reception for this game originally would have been like if the odd jobs you did really were more just like these kind of menial assassin stuff without any of the actual like side jobs. Because I imagine it would be like, it would kind of kill some of like the intended purpose of what Super wanted, but like, if it's just more of this, which is like the thing people signed up for with this game, like, it would probably alleviate some of the criticisms I guess people have with like the non-main ranking missions. You'd still have to deal with the open world, but I could only imagine like you would have hear less complaint about the side jobs because there's nothing as dumb as coconut collecting.
Yeah. Like, I think the problem is that because they started with coconut collecting, which is undoubtedly the worst side mission in the game.
It's up there, yeah.
It soured a lot of people's expectations. Like none of the, you know, the jobs are what you could call fun, except maybe the lawn mowing one.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, the whole satisfaction of,
Yeah.
You know, you've got a big patch of grass and you get it all nice and clean.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, especially since like that one lawn is entirely doable. I think it does ultimately kind of come down to how like, not just the coconut collecting, but there are multiple jobs, like side jobs you do that are basically collecting X thing, you know? Like we did garbage collecting. Honestly, I think the best collecting job in general is, funny enough, the one where you have to find stray cats. But I think that's one that's easy to sell people on because people love cats.
Yeah. And also
unless they don't, which in which case, like, which if they don't, you know, fuck them. But
yeah.
I mean, hell, you could also like have it to like finding stray puppies, and I think you'd get even more people on board with it.
Yeah, but the internet loves cats, so.
Yeah, and Travis likes cats, so it makes sense.
Plus, the incredibly suggestive ways he goes meow when he's trying to get the cat's attention will never not be funny.
Oh yeah. All right. We're getting close. Yeah, they definitely thinned out now.
3 more to go.
Yeah. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Please, please do not. Oh god, if they're up on the... No. Oh shit, I got 20 seconds. Oh, I guess they had to be like off screen or something.
I know, some of them were spawning in directly in your line of sight.
Yeah. I guess maybe I just turned away at the wrong time and wasn't looking properly, but yeah. Yeah, 5 minutes to kill 100 dudes.
90 grand. Not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's definitely one of the good ones to do at this stage in the game if you need to do things repeatedly.
Do that like 3 or 4 times and you've made enough for the next 2 assassination missions.
Yeah. In fact, actually, now that we're above the since we're now like above like the minimum requirement, like we could do like the remaining assassination gigs, do that, and like have all kinds of like leftover money. So I'm actually gonna do something that I wasn't sure if we would ever find the time to do on stream. But once we get the gigs out of the way and pay the money based on what I have left, we are going to finally pay a visit to Area 51.
Ooh.
And since, you know, obviously you're here, I'm going to let you be the one to decide what clothes I buy.
Oh, goody.
Because I feel like if you just leave me to choose, I'm probably going to make poor choices, and in fact, I'm probably just going to go down the long completionist road of just buying up everything that goes from cheapest to most expensive. And we don't have that kind of time or money. Yeah. Yeah, buying all the clothes is really the biggest time sink of all. Like, I had to do Mission 18 during, like, the end, God knows how many times, just to afford every single piece of clothing in Area 51.
See, once I get, like, the jacket and jeans and that I like, I just stick with them, and I just change t-shirts. But the problem is there's so many good t-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't I wear them all?
Oh yeah. And to be fair, when I say that I buy all the clothes, I don't buy them all for the purpose of of wearing just once. I buy them just because I can.
Yeah.
And which I think, funny enough, would totally be in character for Travis.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's collectors in a
definitely,
nutshell.
He's definitely a conspicuous consumption kind of a guy.
Oh yeah. It's and really, and it's only really he's that in the context of his favorite stores, you know? Like, he doesn't care about doing the same for any other stores, just Area 51, because he knows that they have the things that are to his particular tastes.
I mean, I can't really say too much to that because whenever
Yeah,
I
you
go
can't
out
blame him
shopping,
for that.
you know, yeah, whenever I go out shopping, if I'm looking to buy stuff, always visit the same 3 or 4 stores.
Yep.
No deviation.
Mm-hmm. Even if you could possibly get things cheaper elsewhere, no, it's more convenient and familiar.
I mean, I pre-ordered Persona 5 Strikers the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I had 2 choices. I could either get it for £10 cheaper, so it would have been like $39.99 rather than $49.99,
Yeah.
or pay full price for it and get a pin badge.
I think I can already tell what you went with.
I do not feel any need to defend my choice because I get the feeling most people watching this would have done the exact same thing in my shoes.
Yeah.
And probably have.
Yeah, I probably would have as well if I cared more about like getting like physical versions of games these days.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like last one I got, especially one where it was like a non-standard physical edition was Drakengard 3.
Mm.
Like,
Oh, that's one that I don't have, but I've been meaning to get for years now.
Yeah, that one was like, and that was specifically one where I felt like I was taking a bunch of risks that these days I would never think of doing again. Because it was specifically through the Square Enix store, which at the time, circa 2013, and probably still now, was considered by people that worked with it dodgy as fuck.
See, I tend to buy stuff. Well, the few times I bought stuff from there, because they tend to take payment there and then, no matter how far in advance it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
The last couple of times I've bought stuff from there, I bought the Stubby plush for Near Automata,
Yeah.
and there was like that was about 8 months before it was due for release. Completely forgot about it. And got it in the post and was like, I don't remember, when did I buy? It's like, what is this? I haven't bought anything recently.
Yeah.
And then opened it up and was like, oh shit, they didn't even send me an email for this.
Yeah. But yeah, getting the Drakengard 3 like collector's edition from that, like, not only was it like having to get it directly from the Square Enix store, which like if problems arise with it being shipped or like not arriving like the right place, you're fucked. But it was also the fact where like when I first moved to Washington and was like in a dorm with like, well, not like strictly a dorm. It was like an apartment, like it was like a series of apartments that I just happened to be sharing with like people that like I was going to school with at the time. But like the thing was like the English release for Drakengard 3 was after I would have finished like my spring semester, and it was at that point where like as part of like the sort of the student housing program was like you get to be in here like for the first year free, but afterwards you got to find your own place.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a matter of not only having to make sure that like the collector's edition arrived, I had to make sure that it would arrive at the new place I was going to, and that like the forwarding address like took effect in time, which yeah. And so it was kind of a case where I had to put that forward, as well as kind of like double check with like just like the office of the apartment place with like, hey, just in case like if something goes wrong and it doesn't get caught in the forwarding address, like could you please maybe like send it my way? And they were like, well, we can't make any guarantees, but we'll be on the lookout. But it arrived safely. I got the game with the novella and the poster. I was content.
See, that's what I'm kind of worried about, because I have, as I said, like I'm going to be moving in about the next month or so, and I pre-ordered the 2B Nendoroid.
Oh yeah.
Which will of course be, because the pre-orders in the UK, the only place I could really get it from was PlayAsia.
Right.
They're usually
yeah.
quite good about that sort of thing. But the shipping time, it's like you order it and then you just cross your fingers and hope it arrives eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes out, I think, on the 28th, and I'm going to be getting the keys to the new place on the 2nd or the 3rd.
Yeah.
So considering how long it'll take,
Hmm.
I'm kind of wondering if I should just like change the address on, because it hasn't been sent yet, obviously. And if you
Yeah.
change it, if you do a change of address thing, it's only in place for a month.
Oh,
So I'm kind of
that's way
wondering.
shorter than it is for here in the U.S., where it's like you kind of put it forward and like it's active for 6 months.
Now for here, I believe it's only a month. I might be wrong. It's been a while
Mhm.
since I've had to check it, but
Oh, well.
I think it's about 4 to 6 weeks roughly.
Okay.
But yeah, like considering it can take anything up to like 2 or 3 months to arrive, I'm just sort of like, should I change my address now?
Yeah.
Might not be such a bad idea. So that way I know it's definitely going to go to the right address.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know how that feels. Heck, I was already pretty nervous when I was waiting for that Steel Battalion controller to arrive. Because
You'll know
because
exactly what it feels like then.
well, like the thing was like this was like last year this was before I had moved to where I am now, and like when it was ordered it was like literally weeks before the decision was made that okay, I can't stay in Washington anymore, I gotta get out. And it was the sort of thing where like I was not only did I not put like the forwarding change of address in right away, I was not sure if it would even apply to a package that big, especially one that was international.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate when in the week and a half like leading up to me moving out of there, it had arrived, and I was like so relieved waiting those 2 months, because buying from like one of like the proxy sellers on Yahoo Auctions I could only really afford to have it sent through C-mail. Fucking waiting 2 months for that thing.
Yeah. I think I have no idea how PlayAsia ships their stuff, because it's been a while since I've bought anything from them.
Yeah.
But as I said, the last couple of times I've bought stuff from them, it's usually been about a month and a half, 2 months for it to arrive.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
The alternative was buying it off of eBay, but of course, when it comes to Nendos, you're never quite sure if you're getting the real one or not.
Yeah. Here's an amusing little assassination mission. It's basically just a series of like press the right buttons.
Yeah, this is basically quick time assassination.
Yeah, kind of cathartic. You have more things to worry about than your spleen, buddy. Like your pancreas, your heart, your lungs, literally all of your internal organs violently imploding.
And don't even think about talking about your duodenum. Like, that shit is gone.
Yeah.
See, this was the mission I always had problems with on the Wii, because I wasn't as familiar with the buttons as I am,
Right.
say, the Xbox or the Super Nintendo.
And that
So,
said, because this is with the Joy-Cons, you probably would still have trouble, because despite having the letter phase buttons, it's still the Nintendo arrangement and not the Xbox Sega arrangement. You know
exactly. Because I'm used to the top one being Y and left one being B.
Yeah.
YB actually, rather than the Switch configuration, which is the opposite.
This is ultimately why I feel like not only like you're free to use like letters or shapes or whatever the hell for your face buttons, but I think it should be a rule that they need to be color coded.
Yeah.
Like that's the ultimate reason I think why, because when I have to do sort of like button press shit like this with like if it's with an Xbox controller, I much prefer if like I pay more attention to like the color of the button that shows up on screen more than the actual letter. And like, and when it comes to stuff like with PlayStation, that's kind of a non-issue because Sony's the only one that uses shapes for their face buttons and not letters. But yeah,
See, one of the things that God of War 3 did for its QuickTime events, and Clive Barker's Jericho, oddly enough, was that for the button prompt, it would appear on the screen relative to what button you would need to press.
Yeah, I
So-
remember that. Yeah, they would always
So-
show up like on one of like the four edges of the screen to kind of correlate
Yeah.
with where that button was. That was smart. Yeah, in a series
So,
that is
you know-
otherwise not very smart, that was smart.
Yeah, it made it really, really clear what button you needed to press at any given time. And I really wish more games did that. As I said, Clive Barker's Jericho, which not the best reputation.
Especially
But
after
it did that.
Undying.
Yeah. It did that as well, and it's like that should be an industry standard rather than just like tossing the buttons on screen completely random.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like there's ultimately like two different ways it could go. You could go the way you just described, where like their positions are relative to like where they are on they're parallel to like where they are on the controller. But also, I kind of don't mind the idea of like having them be in position relative to where the action it correlates to is going to take place, like Asura's Wrath, like during the DLC. That always comes to mind as being a pretty that was like another good way of doing it, because like obviously like the one obvious downside that comes with QTEs in a cinematic sense is that you're paying more attention to the button than like what's happening around you, and if the button prompt is always in the exact same spot, you're paying more attention to the center point and not like the action on screen. Whereas if you were to put the prompt like in the position of a screen where like a punch is going to land in the dude's face, then that works, because that doubles as you paying attention to the action.
Yeah, I don't know why they bother putting QTEs in cinematic cutscenes or anything, because I want to watch the cutscene.
Yeah. I mean, there's some where like I still kind of don't mind, but that's like a very fridge case. Like I feel RE4 is still like at the sort of that's sort of like like right on the edge of what I'm willing to accept, just because RE4 it can't shows like, especially with a lot of its design, it has the capacity to punish the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of it's the kind of punishment that ends up feeling a bit more humorous in that context. But,
I think as well that it gets you back into the action relatively quickly, so you don't feel like you've just wasted the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, like
I know you can skip the
they
cutscene right up to that moment where you failed the button press.
That helps a lot. I think the part where like it starts to wear thin more is like when it becomes a sequence that you have to do repeatedly before you reach the end. Like the knife fight with Krauser was like the only time in 4, and that was like fine. But then it got kind of more ridiculous where I think when they tried doing that again in RE5 with like the Wesker stuff, it became kind of it wore thin. Even though the choreography in that scene when they're fighting in the airplane right before they land in the volcano is like so good.
See, I was actually replaying Resident Evil 5 recently. And when you're playing, because I was mostly playing it either single player or me hosting.
Right.
So, basically 99% of the time I was playing as Chris, which meant I got to do the Punch the Rock QTE.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, because Wesker is advancing on Sheva that entire time, you have to rely on either the AI or another player not to fuck up horribly.
Oh yeah, and that's even after like you have like Sheva has to distract Wesker for you, because you could, as Chris, you could technically go for the rock right away and he'll just instant kill you.
Because the AI and quite a lot of the human players don't realize the difference between aiming at a target and hitting it.
Yeah.
Like you can aim at the target and you can shoot and hit him all you want, but if you're not hitting the right spot, what's the fucking point?
Mm-hmm. We're finally getting a more efficient battery for a katana.
Oh, thank God.
As well as more power. More power!
You otaku.
Yeah, I'm an otaku, what of it? You think that's supposed to make me feel bad?
My very existence makes me feel bad. I didn't even make myself feel sad. That's just how I roll.
Yeah. Okay, we've been doing enough, like, working on our legs, running across town, but I guess, because I'm pretty sure it is still slightly faster, we might as well, like, get on the Tiger for old time's sake. Drive over to the destination.
Yeah, it's faster if you can do the quick turns.
Yeah, which I've completely forgotten, and I don't care about, like, crashing and burning multiple times just to figure that out. Because, again, we're not going to be spending that much more time. Oh well, we can at least still cause some damage to public property.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
It's
traffic
not-
light. You always stop on red when I reach the intersection every time. You too.
You working out a few things there, champ?
I don't know what you mean. Oh shit, that's right, I forgot. Because we got the extra money to spare. Let's go to Area 51.
Yay, t-shirts.
Yeah. Hopefully it lets them, if I recall, I think it lets us change there when we buy them. If not, then shit, we're gonna have to take another visit to the motel.
Yeah. I'm pretty certain that basically whatever the most recent shirt or clothing you wear or you purchase, it equips it immediately.
Yeah. This dude's cool. He's also ready for the pandemic.
He's so good at social distancing.
Yeah.
Although those masks behind him, nah, that's not cool.
Nah, well, they're meant for more recreational use at home, you know?
Gentleman never asks, lady never tells.
Yeah. Alright, so, let's actually take a look through the sunglasses first, but actually maybe not. These are a bit too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of disliked how much they were. And the jacket, I feel like maybe we should actually just get one jacket, because I think we'll still have enough for a t-shirt. So what's do you like? Do you like the skeletal tiger, the nature, tiger, or zebra?
I'm torn between zebra and skeletal tiger, but I think skeletal tiger.
Yeah, it costs less, so that makes sense. Now for the
blood
t-shirts.
splatter set's always the best. But...
Yeah, so we got Gorgon, Eat, Warning Radioactive, Viva Lucha Libre. Yeah, feel free to like just yell out one that you think is cool that you want to keep track of.
Also, that's Viva Lucha Libre.
Oh shit, you're right. I was looking at.
Fucking spelled it wrong.
God damn it! No More Heroes 11 Red. Tigers, Rose in the Skull, Tengu, Giraffe, Strawberry, Cranberry, Blueberry Cheese Brownie, Miami Bass, or Bass. No, I'm probably Bass, because that's clearly an ass.
Yeah.
Riddle, Skull, Lightning Bolt, Dogfight Yokozuna, Harajuku, Viva Mexico, 680k calorie. What the fuck kind of burgers are you eating?
From Burger Suplex, they only give solid slabs of cow.
Yeah, a t-shirt produced by Burger Suplex. Shit, yeah, that's right. They totally carried that name over into the visual novel sequence in Travis Strikes Again. I completely forgot that it existed all the way back here. That's a great callback, Suda. So we got
also, if we're going up against Holly, I think we need to wear Sniper.
That's good, but let's first finish looking through the rest of these.
Oh
wait, that was actually the end. So yeah, we got Sniper Victim. You think that's what we want to go with for now?
Yeah, I would go with that.
Totally. Okay, and then just double check if there's any change to our genes we want to go with. Black Mamba, Kangaroo, Goshawk, Leopard, or Donkey.
I would say probably, yeah, Kangaroo.
Yeah, I like the blue. That looks good. And then belts. Black Boa, Silver Serpent, Salamander, and Viper.
Salamander, I think.
Yeah, it's a good price.
Stands out nicely.
Yeah. And of course, we don't have any money for new sunglasses, but frankly, the ones we have are already pretty good. Yeah, this is a nice style and new look for Travis.
Yeah, I usually went for the hot pink sunglasses and never changed them.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you'll be fine with us using this for mostly the rest of the game. We'll probably change out other t-shirts as they go on just because they're cheap enough, but yeah, the jacket, the pants, the belt, these are staying.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that we got a good change for Travis' look, because normally I would not be doing this. I'd be saving all the clothes shopping for like once I finish the game.
As I said, I typically went for like one set of clothes except for the t-shirts. And then I was like, okay, I want to wear this one, but I also want to wear this one, but this one's quite good.
Yeah.
And then and you go on Etsy and you're like, can I buy this shirt?
Yeah, you start buying all the clothes in game and you start looking around wondering if you can get them for real. Which is like, I've thought about, but I always get hung up on the fact that like I pretty much have an unspoken rule of like I try to keep clothes that are plain and devoid of any sort of like styling or logos as possible. Just because I always feel weird about that. And like that kind of like sending the image to people that like this is somehow what I use to define me, because that's already the impression I get of other people, but I feel like that's more in the case of bumper stickers that I see in front of me every time I'm driving to and from work.
I see you're talking to a guy who is actually wearing an Evangelion t-shirt as we speak, so
I regret nothing that I've said.
Not even kidding.
Yeah. Is it at least the Nerve logo? Just tell me it's that.
No, it's a screaming Ava with red text behind it.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah,
but like I'll accept anything that is just Unit 1 going ape shit.
Yeah, I've also got a couple of Ava t-shirts actually. Bought them off QWERTY.
Okay.
They usually have some really good designs. I haven't had anything decent in a while, sadly, but whenever there's an Ava one, I usually pick it up because they're typically quite good. So yeah, deflecting those shots and it barely took off any battery. This is what we're here for.
Yeah. And the jumping slash is especially useful for just getting these assholes out of the way. Yep. Yeah, we're not getting like the fancy killing moves, but that's just because like it's barely worth it. Except instances like that, of course.
Yeah,
but for real,
you're just
anything.
Casually...
Yeah.
I was gonna say the way you're just casually swiping them, it's more like No More Heroes mini golf.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, that was cool.
Nice.
Come on, try and hit me.
Okay, Morpheus, Jesus.
Well, yeah, I don't want them to actually hit me. I want them to try and hit me so that they can feel good about themselves before I kick their ass.
See, that's how I play the Batman Arkham games. I don't do anything until they try and hit me, and then I wreck their shit.
Ah, the good old Royal Guard mentality.
Yep. Although whenever I play DMC, I usually go Trickster.
Yeah.
And hit what you can't touch.
Yeah. Admittedly, with Royal Guard, I only ever got more into that mindset when it came to DMC 5 because of the way they changed, like, the penalty for not getting a perfect guard. Because I always disliked, I understood why, but I disliked that if you did not perfect block, you would still take some chip damage. But the way they changed it in DMC 5, I actually did not mind, because what it did was it basically like it drained your double trigger instead.
Yeah.
And because anything you do gives you double trigger, like that's a pretty perpetual supply, in that it helps with like allowing you to experiment. Because it's not fun when you're trying to learn the Royal Guard timings and you keep eating shit and losing health.
Yeah, that was what stopped me from really investing in it in the third game.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, okay, I feel like I'm really getting somewhere to eat shit 5 times in a row. I'm like, well, I'm never touching this stupid fucking thing again.
Yeah, that's the one thing I did like more about Royal Guard in DMC 3 was, oh yeah, I gotta spin these. Woo! There we go. There's the impale right at the end. Yeah, but yeah, as I was saying, is like DMC3. The one thing about Royal Guard and that I liked was that you had 3 pips to worry about and not 10, where it was like a whole meter, because it made it more satisfying once you did get the get it up to stock and you wanted to do like the Royal Release. It did not take nearly as long as it did in 4 and 5, where you have to fill a whole meter with 10 sectors.
Yeah, I've seen some really insane videos that people have done with that, where it's basically blocking, taunting, destroy.
Yeah. Plus, Royal Guard becomes a bit easier when you realize that, like, if you stack Royal Guard with like your regular jumping animation, the iframes like give you more leeway to get the proper timing down and avoid damage.
Yeah. It's like on the one hand, it's really cool to watch, but on the other, it makes you feel so terrible about your skills.
Yeah.
Just watching it, like, I feel inadequate again.
Oh yeah, 777. Which,
finally got one of those.
Yep, and chances are we are never gonna get the remaining 2.
I mean, it gives you what, 20k at the end of the level, or is it 50?
It does give you a money bonus. That's true. Yeah.
So I always just stop them.
Thank goodness that our minimap also doubles as a mine detector.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it'd be a real pain otherwise.
Yeah.
As funny as it would be to see Travis repeatedly eat shit from it.
Yeah, I remember this being one of the less fun stages to go through.
Oh yeah, and one of the mines just blew up right on them.
Yep.
Oh boy, okay. Yeah. It remains so simple, but I still appreciate how you can feel yourself improving with all the upgrades that you get for the beam katana.
Yeah. Well, that's an important thing for any game, is the feeling of progress.
Yeah.
Because that was one thing going back to God of War. The first one did really well. Was you go through towards the end of the game, you go through an area that you visited right at the start, and you're fighting the same enemies at the level they would have been back then. So guys that were taking like 2 or 3 full combos to kill off, you're basically just sneezing at and they're falling over.
Oh shit, I completely used up the 7 without realizing.
Oh, you dumbass. I didn't even do anything.
No. Yeah. Whatever, we're still flush with cash. By the time we finish this, we're probably going to be like even closer to the next entry fee.
Yeah. I said last time, it usually gives you about 2/3 of the fee just playing through the level.
Totally. Oh man, that was dumb. I completely forgot that there was even a button to use that.
Yeah, what's it say? I think that's probably the first time I've actually seen it used, because I just stopped them.
Just goddamn Switch controllers. You have so much more buttons than I'm used to for a game like this. Seriously, if I wanted to be cheap about it, I would have just like booted up like the original Wii game anyway. But no, I figured it was worth it just for my sake, and yours, just to kind of like see how this was.
Yeah. Actually, now I'm wondering, did they make any improvements to the second game? Because it never really got a re-release.
I think the only thing I recall seeing was more with like technical performance, and that, so like this version of No More Heroes 1, it targets 60 FPS, but there are actually times that like it doesn't hit that. But apparently from what I heard, that like No More Heroes 2 is apparently like even more much better optimized than this, so that like it's actually 100% 60.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's kind of cool.
Because this is obviously based on Heroes Paradise.
It's not.
Is it not?
No, it's the Wii original.
Oh,
okay. Like the whole, yeah, because like the whole point of this re-release was that Suda was not pleased with how Heroes Paradise turned out.
Yeah, because it still manages to look exactly like it, which is kind of weird.
Not really, no, because I mentioned this before, but like there's specific changes to the way that the lighting and shading works in Heroes Paradise. Oh, good, I got the 7 back. Now to make sure not to press the minus button again. God damn it.
Never touch that fucking button.
Nah. Oh shit! God damn it! No! Time out! Time out! There we
No,
go.
no,
I have to hit.
I'm
I have to hit left shoulder button, not minus. That was my first mistake.
I'm hiding behind the barricade. Mom says you can't hit me.
Mom says it's my turn to jack off the beam katana.
Yeah, well, she's not here. She's behind the burger suplex, waiting on customers, so shut your face.
Yeah, customers. But yeah, it's like the difference in like the lighting and shading primarily that is like a big deal. But also there's the other one where so this was actually kind of a pain when I was trying to look for like maps with the locations of all the Lavakov balls. The thing with Heroes Paradise is that it actually completely removes the like the top part of Santa Destroy across the river. Which is why, like, when you try and look for maps of the game with like different things for like collectibles and whatnot, it don't like the Heroes Paradise maps all show just the just like the lower 2/3 of Santa Destroy.
I'll need to go back and compare the two.
Yeah, which always felt like incredibly bizarre that was even a thing they decided to do. Because it's a fucking PS3 game. They put it on a Blu-ray disc. That's already more space than like than a Wii DVD and gives you. So like, why?
It's like the original ISO's like what 700 meg or something. So they could literally put the Wii ISO on there like 5 times over.
Yeah, it was like it didn't even fill it enough to meet the requirements for like a dual laser disc, you know?
Yeah.
Come on, where? Oh god damn it!
Buh.
Oh, Dark Side, you're so terrible sometimes.
Whoever came up with the idea to have a mechanic that kicks in when there's no one on screen needs to be shot.
Or suplexed. That's really all.
I mean, I'm not fussy.
Yeah.
Like Travis, I want heads.
Yeah. I'm honestly curious now, like, I'm forgetting what's specifically causing me to, like, do that weird capoeira kick into, like, slice that seems to kill a lot of people. That feels like a weird counterattack that happens. Because I keep thinking it's somewhat derived from, like, the low charge attack. But I keep managing to get it, like, at the right time that it's just a massive counterattack. That probably is what it is. Man, it still blows me away that, like, it's been 2 years since I played this, and there are still some things that I keep forgetting as far as the tinier details of the combat.
I think the last time I played this was probably about 6 years ago. And I never even got all the way through the PS3 version.
Yeah.
Finished it on the Wii at a friend's house, but never really. I think I got up. I think this was about the point that I stopped playing, just because it wasn't as much fun.
Right. Yeah.
I think it was just the graphical enhancements were annoying me.
Yeah.
And the bonus missions with the bosses from the second game didn't feel like they were balanced for No More Heroes 1, you know?
I would argue most
of
of the bosses in No More Heroes 2 weren't even balanced for its own game.
Well, fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got very specific feelings on like how so many of the bosses feel. Like it goes beyond it simply being a result of they removed like the mandatory like overworld segments, so like the build up to the bosses were diminished. But even just fighting most of them, like a lot of the like the weird details that made like the simplistic combat of the first game work just did not feel like they applied as much anymore.
Yeah. Also, Satan's Ferris Wheel, best name.
It's a good name. It's up there.
Not as good as Lucifuge's bumper cars, but I'll take what I can get.
Fair, yeah.
Or Asmodel's penny farthing.
Yeah. Okay. Coming up on Holly Summers. At about, like, about almost 2.5 hours at this point.
Yeah.
I keep underestimating how long I actually end up spending with the overworld shit. Which, I mean, I already know what's coming with, like, the rank after this. But, you think maybe after this we could, like, call it early? Because I was planning to hopefully get, like, up to rank 5 done. Because I at least know, like, that mission's short for obvious reasons that I'm not going to specify.
That's Let's Shake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But knowing how like long it takes for me to like be thorough in the open world,
You like fighting?
I feel like these two right for start might
Do
be
you
fine.
like killing?
Yeah. No, that's totally fine.
Live for it.
Do you like?
Yeah, it's a shame too because I was really hoping just
Can't
to
say.
like end
Never
this
felt it.
VOD with Let's Shake because I feel like that's ultimately deserving.
Damn.
Yeah, just
Never
like
crossed my mind.
the fight ends. It's like, well, good night, everybody. End of the stream. End it there and there with a complete
That's how good
anticlimax.
we know.
Mm-hmm.
Seeking meaning in everything, especially killing. That's a bad habit among smart little girls these days.
Come closer, and you will understand.
Why do we need to seek meaning in everything? Why does everything have to be so political
ready.
these days?
Anywhere, anytime.
God. I just want to
before
play my
you
shoot man games in Iraq without being made to feel sad.
Are you in the mood yet? Normal assassins
Oh,
don't
you had
shoot
to
the
remind
shit
me
like
about
this.
the bullshit
They
surrounding
sit there
6 Days in
talking
Fallujah.
and kill them.
Yeah. Someone made the
And they
point
had
that
the gall. The devs had the fucking gall to say, oh, we're not making a political statement.
really, what the fuck would you call it then, Buster?
Let's see you get out of this predicament.
Now, someone made the point on Twitter that our game isn't political, should really just be code for our game's not going to challenge your worldview.
A sad truth.
Yeah.
Good night, my
Like, that ain't that the fucking truth?
Yeah. I mean, it's what I talked about last time, where while I understand the sentiment, I really don't think that the no politics rule that, like, streams or other content creators, like, want to, like, evolve just to get around. Because I get that it's, that sort of, like, rule is put in place to avoid, like,
Maybe I
people
can steal a
spouting
kiss before
bullshit
I
that is
steal
clearly
your life.
toxic and, like, hate speech.
We'll see about that.
But we already have words for those. Just say no hate speech and no promoting ideas that, like, further that.
Yeah.
Because kind of like it or not, even though I wish I didn't have to call it politics, a lot of, like, the things that I, like, that I feel strongly about do count as politics.
See, I have a lot of, well, not a lot of people, but I do get asked on occasion, like, why I'm so invested in American politics, even though I live in the UK.
I thought you were
And there's this old line that when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold.
Yeah.
Basically means, in this day and age, whatever the government does in America, the UK government tries to see if they can get away with it 6 to 8 months later.
Yeah. Especially when
Well,
it feels... But at least for me, when... I feel like I'm kind of like that, but in the opposite, where, like, I kind of, for better or worse, end up hearing more about British politics because I feel like so much of, like, what Brexit UK is trying to do is, like, one-up the shittiness that we've been doing over here.
Yeah, it's basically an escalating game of hold my beer.
Yeah, and everyone suffers as a result because of your drunken bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, we have a man who, in charge at the moment, who always looks like shit whenever he takes a press conference.
Yeah.
Because he deliberately messes up his hair because it's part of this persona that he's got so many people to buy into.
Yeah.
Even though it's just complete shit. Like the man himself.
Yeah. And his name is Boris.
Well, that's the thing, because his real name is Alexander Boris the Pfeffel Johnson. Boris Johnson is the persona. Apparently his friends and family call him Al. Yes, just like the song. Cinematic end? No. Oh!
I mean, she's got, like, so little health left that I wanted to be cool and finish off with a charge slash.
Cinematic end? God damn it. Cinematic end? Oh, god damn it.
There we go, jumping slash. That's good enough. Yeah, Holly is
And-
surprisingly easy and less time-consuming than Destroy Man and Shinobu.
What is this?
Yeah, well, I mean, especially Shinobu, because she's the first real challenge of the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a fun fight. I like Holly's character, especially with kind of what is cemented in this cutscene.
Pathetic. You
I
can't
like her
ever-
design.
You are lucky
She's a better
Just
Quiet.
maybe
to
not-
make it to the top.
Well, I was going to say just maybe not what she's wearing, because it reminds me of Quiet these days.
I seem to have a
Yeah,
thing for
but
stupid
I think
pedestrian
I say it's better in this case because there's no pretense of trying to come up with like some dumb bullshit skin condition for why she has to be almost
assassins
naked.
must die when they
Yeah, it reminds me of the difference between Kojima and Yoko Taro, where
Yeah.
Kojima's like, your thoughts and deeds will make you feel ashamed.
Yeah.
And Yoko Taro's just like, I just want to see sexy cosplay chicks playing my characters.
Yoko
like,
Taro is just hey, boop huge tits fuck.
fantasize too.
Yeah, it's like, I can respect someone who admits outwardly that he's a complete pervert.
Yeah. That's a
Whereas-
gruesome way to go, honestly.
Forgive me, number
Yeah,
six.
and also funny because the way you hit her with the jumping slash is basically what's left of her.
Yeah, the angle does kind of match up. But
Bit
yeah,
dark, bit dark.
but yeah, here we are.
That's all that matters.
We're now at the point where Travis got a wake-up call that, like, he's an assassin and can't really make any exceptions for anyone anymore.
That is not important
Yeah,
anymore.
I mean, he made an exception for Shinobu,
Yeah.
but
Holly
that
said
was
it's
kind of
always-
an
No.
edge case.
Just her name.
Yeah, and that was
Like-
still in his phase of trying to, like, put up, like, some sort of chivalrous air about his new profession as an assassin. Because that's the thing that, like, starts falling apart from here on out. That even when we get to the final few female assassins, he has no qualm with them.
Well, I mean, Bad Girl is basically the exact opposite of him.
He's
So-
basically, like, what he's looking at, like, in a mirror of his future self.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know, and that's always the part that
And
I
I mean-
liked most about Bad Girl, aside from the obvious her being bad.
Hmm.
Yay! Got U.S.
Ooh,
military
yeah.
secrets.
Ah, man, it's just another picture of Bill Clinton in a dress. This sucks.
Could be worse.
Could
Could be
be
Bill
Trump
Clinton.
in a dress.
It could be Bill Clinton in a dress with Monica Lewis under a desk.
Forgive me, Holly. I was
No, it could be Bill Clinton out of a dress.
Love your soul.
Damn.
Peace.
Yeah, that's replacing the white whale in my nightmares.
Oh, Lord. So that's it. Farewell, Holly. For a moment, we loved your soul. The weirdest
You've had
thing to ever confess to someone, especially posthumously.
You had a beautiful soul, and it's just kind of a shame that they're making me drop you in this hole, because I totally would have taken that body back home. And oh wait, is this mic on? Shit.
I had plans to create like a full plaster like cast of your body, but considering your shoulder and head is all gone, I kind of don't remember how to make it work.
Yeah, he tries to create another one out of silly putty, but it just winds up looking like something off Cake Failures.
No, I'm just thinking of more like 85% of it is like the original art, but then the remaining 15% is one of those botched art restorations from like Spanish museums or some shit.
It's just like, I didn't think you were quite so enamored with Leonard Nimoy, but well, here we are.
Wow, coffee and MILF. I wonder, could I get that somewhere?
Please wire the money.
That's a hell of a video title.
Please hurry, or something.
I think it's actually probably a real film.
In
Hmm.
addition, the
It's a
registration
bit
for
too
your
obvious.
UAA rank is complete.
Yeah.
We look forward to hearing from you.
If you run, you'll only die tired. God, ain't that my life.
Yeah, that's why I never run anywhere.
So that's
that
it. Yeah.
and police won't let.
So... Oh yeah, we never actually looked in the fridge with the little Kamen Rider mask on top. Yeah.
Oh, and he's got a not N64 on his shelf as well.
Yeah. Okay, we. Oh yeah, and look at that! Like Mask of Legendary Wrestler Saltamontes. That was the mask that we saw on top of the fridge. Yeah, it's always nice.
Montes.
It's always nice to see these like litter themselves over the apartment. No, not apartment, motel. But
it's just good that we can actually see this stuff now. That it's not like muddy textures.
yeah, I mean you could kind of see it, but like we're seeing it in a fidelity that we never imagined we could. Like we knew that was an N64. We didn't know how much of it was an N64, though. Similarly, we never really were able to tell what the name of that Revenge of the Sith poster was until this stream.
Yeah. Wow, we are living in the future.
Giddy.
I just feel like you should like be offering Jean a glass of wine or something, being like, "So, hard day, huh?"
Tell me about it.
Hey, girl.
I work very hard at being a cat, and I'm tired of feeling underappreciated. Okay, just chin rubs. Yeah.
Oh, get it right over there. Yeah. And under the collar, too. Oh, thanks.
More to the left, Oh, that's the...
Oh, yeah.
Like when you're scratching a cat under its chin and it starts shifting its head to get you to scratch the right spots, that is the best feeling.
It really is. Oh, yeah, that was fun. Oh, man. So, yeah, we'll do this next time. Possibly Friday if, like, time and circumstances allow, or else we might just save this for another Wednesday. In fact,
should be good. Should be good for Friday at the moment, depending on how much I manage to get packed up.
Yeah.
Evening should be fairly free for me.
Yeah, that'll be good. Otherwise, if something else comes up, I might see about like fitting in like streams for like something else, like kind of during the off days for something that is like maybe more conducive to me doing solo. Who knows? It'd be nice to like keep the consistency going and all that on top of the consistency that I'm sticking with for the Steel Battalion updates, which again going up right after this is done, as well as the VOD for this. So yeah, this was fun as always. I always enjoy the bullshit tangents that we keep going off on, which feel more appropriate here. Funny enough, because we're just riding off the seat of our pants.
Like I said, whenever I get involved in something like this, it's always more bullshit tangents with a video game attached.
Yeah.
So like at some point we might actually talk about the game.
Well, I mean that's what the LP's for. We do it marginally more. Marginally.
Tiny bit.
Have a good day, everyone.
Laters.